Big up, big up, big up, and welcome to Liverpool 12th Man Show. I'm Liverpool 12th Man, and we are going to be doing top 10 LFC beatdowns of Big Six teams. I've compiled a list and put them in a ranking order. We're going to talk about the memories and thoughts and reflections about onto those games. And then also we are going to include at the end whether we have some ideas as to who should be included, maybe who should be bumped from the list, who should be maybe like moved around a little bit here or there. And we can come up with your own individual personal list as pretty much is what we're going to do. But we are joined today by Lee and by Brian and by JK. How are you doing, Lee?
Good, mate. Yeah, good. Looking forward to it.
And Brian, how are you doing?
Yeah, fine, man. Doing well.
And JK, how are you doing?
All good, bro. All good. I hope you guys are okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
We're definitely maintaining, hanging in there,
Mm-hmm.
Hanging in. Evening to Red Armchair Supporter. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see anyone and everyone that is tuning in for this live broadcast. If you're not tuning in for the live broadcast and you're seeing us on the replay, appreciate you all the same. Also, we would like to definitely emphasize we appreciate seeing the big ups or the hey and everything in the chat at the end, or even during the show. But it would be that much more effective for the channel if you put that in the comments at the end of the show. I know you have to can't do it live. You have to you have to go into the actual stream again, but you don't have to actually watch the entire show if you don't want to. All you have to do is just to get the comment down there so that we can continue to grow the show. We're making a real concerted effort to really push the show these days because we want to reach out to more like-minded people out there. There's so much negativity in the world, and I think that it'd be great to have some positive insights and some positive reaffirmations for the club that we all love and call our own. So again, appreciate you here, and big up to Edward. Good to see you as well, brother. Definitely good to see you. But yeah, I know that I put the list. I didn't put it in order, but I put the list in our little WhatsApp group. I'm sure. Hopefully, I don't know if there's other names or other games that you thought of. Maybe we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to it at the end. We're gonna listen and see what maybe something I missed, or maybe it's something that I shouldn't have included. But I am very interested to see your reactions to what I think is the LFC beatdowns. And that's exactly what they are. They're beatdowns. They're actual games that we either embarrassed or just absolutely came out firing against the Big Six, basically. Because there's games out there, sure, we could have made a list where we just went through and said, oh, I don't know, the Bournemouth game or something like that, or, a 9-0 game or a 7-0 game or those kinds of games. Yeah.
Ain't got time for no Bournemouth.
Yeah. But there's just a little bit, there's a little bit something sweeter when it's against like a Red Devil, when it's against maybe even a Hotspur, so those things are why I wanted to put this list together, and I thought it'd be fun to go through it and see what you guys think about what I have to present. Big up Trap Joe, big up Red for Life, big up Hylor, by the way, too. Big up to all of you guys in the chat and possible ladies as well. I don't know if I haven't seen Bernie or Marion just yet, or some of the other fine red jewels that we get the privilege of having join us. So I am looking forward to seeing them join us as well. But for right now, let us really get into this. I think that it's going to be a fun little ride. So let me bring this up as well. I did see that with the James Pierce update on the contract situation today. I know that he updated some things about, I think it was about Ibu, by the way, and I think he also even put I think there was also, I saw something was very clickbaity. It was kind of disappointing. It was on Yahoo, and it was like major update about Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it was 3 paragraphs that just said, this basically talked about the season, how the season's going, and the fact that he's a priority to get signed. And I'm like, really, dude? So you gotta be careful for some of those things. But yeah, if you guys are ready, let's get into this stuff. Let's get into this. So I'm gonna bring up, I think the best way to do is this one. All right. And let's begin. All right, so this is the top 10. Again, these are LFC beatdowns of Big Six teams. All right. And at number 10, I have number 10 is, I put in this game here. This was a good game.
Yeah, I like this one. Yeah, this one was
There's
excellent.
a wild thing about it. I know there's those that don't necessarily always confidently put Hotspurs as a Big Six team. I get that.
Yeah, it depends when you talk. I mean, in my lifetime, I'm 51 now, but when I was a kid, Spurs, but definitely what Chelsea were, Man City were, neither of them were.
Right, exactly. Chelsea
became one when they got bought, but before that they had Ken Bates, who was a rent-a-quote chairman. You know what I mean? He was always coming out and viciously decrying English football, the state of English football today, Ken Bates. He was one of them type of owners, he was a laugh, and he was something to buzz off. But then Abramovich took over, and Chelsea actually became a team to reckon with. Before that, they were always flirting with relegation, and sporadically they'd have these bursts of a bit of half decent team, you know what I mean, where they'd be up towards the top or the top half. But it was rare with Chelsea when I was a kid. You never saw Chelsea in the top half of the table. They were usually down floating at the bottom, about to get relegated, or they'd just been promoted to some shit Chelsea when I was young.
Yeah, and that's why, I get where there are some games that we might have had against some of these teams at earlier stages of even though, and this is just of the Premier League.
This is why I picked Chelsea for one of mine. When I say the one I like, it's Chelsea. Okay. Before Abramovich bought them, you know what I mean? And in all that time when Abramovich owned them, I don't think we ever give them a beating that severe in terms of the scoreline. So I like that one. You know what I mean?
Right. No, what I was getting at is though, this is just Premier League error. This was unique. This game was so nice. We had to do it twice in that we shut them out, had 2 clean sheets in that year. When we played home and away against Spurs, we had both 2 shutouts against them. It was a 9-0 campaign. Actually, it ends up being even more going into the following year. But 9 goals we scored against this team. 9 goals we scored, and they scored 0 that year in this campaign, the 2013-2014 campaign. This was a win over the Spurs that year this was the second game of that
Soldado
run.
in the team, wasn't he? We mentioned him yesterday, didn't we, Brian Soldado?
Yeah.
He was in the Spurs side, wasn't he?
Yeah. And I also
Ericsson.
Yeah.
Well, Ericsson is in the picture there, so if Ericsson is in it, Soldado, because they bought him in the same window, I think. No, they didn't.
I remember the game quite well. Yeah, I watched it in the pub, but I wasn't too drunk that I didn't take it all in. Yeah, it was an
I think this is the season after Gareth Bale left, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is
this is not that they didn't have Bale on this team.
Yeah, that was the previous summer they'd spent, that was the famous summer when they spent 100 and odd million buying players to replace Bale. They bought about 15 guys. They bought Ericsson, Lamela, Chiriches, Cab. They bought loads of players, and they got much, much worse I've never really the big six. I don't believe in this big six thing at all. I don't think
Okay.
the six big clubs. Yeah, if Tottenham are getting into it, I think maybe
I mean,
there's
if you Google it,
four.
if you were to Google it and say what are the big six teams, Spurs would
Yeah,
show up.
that's the thing. I know. That's why I don't believe in a big six. I think there used to be like the big. There used
Yeah,
to
there
be
was no
like the big
six when I
two,
was a
then the
kid. It
top.
was more like 3
No,
or 4, he'd say.
yeah,
But he's
or the
lengthened
big
it out like
four.
as time's gone on to try and include more people.
Exactly, basically to make Spurs feel happy. But it used to be like when the Champions League came in, there was 4 teams that would always be kind of in, and they used to call that the big four. And then it was like, oh, now there's actually a new one. The big six has been replaced by the rich seven. There's now a new list called the rich
I haven't
seven.
heard that. I haven't heard that one. That's interesting.
That's
What's
to just
what's the
include
rich
Newcastle.
seven? Oh, they
That's
include
just to
Newcastle.
include Newcastle. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. Got you.
But how about, can we get a trophy winning 2 or something? I mean, can we get that? Can we have
Maybe
that?
hey, coin it. Coin that to phrase. That'd be good. This was also the years that we had Suarez and we had Sterling up front to engineer our attack. And let me say this: I get all the talk about Suarez with other great forwards, by the way, but I'm going to go out on a limb here. I know I'm going to be biased. I understand that, but a healthy Sturridge is a. Did I say Sterling? If I did say Sterling, I meant Sturridge. By the way, Suarez and Sturridge together, I believe, were a lethal 1-2 punch. I think that Sturridge, a healthy Sturridge, is just the right bit of like, lightning and thunder, if you want to put it that way.
There's pace, like one it Suarez could play him in easy, couldn't he? Like, without
just
even
quickly.
looking.
Could you do a quick recap? Like, say, I mean, it's Spurs 20. Can you just say, like, just tell us what the score was?
I'll do that. Yeah, I was going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, I have all that.
Yeah, because I'm struggling to remember
this one. So this game right here was March 30th, 2014. This was a 4-0 win.
4-0. Okay.
In that game, now I'm going to be going by memory because I don't have any like the notes on that one, but I believe in this game, Coutinho had. This is showing Coutinho's goal. Coutinho had an absolutely cool goal. It was I would say slightly a B-Tech Thiago style goal in that it was a bullet, but it like it just went along the grass. It wasn't like it didn't hover the way that Thiago's did, but it was still a really great goal. Definitely was like a magician style goal. And,
it was a classy performance, wasn't it? It was a classy performance.
Yeah. And let me see if I can pull up what it was, because I remember also in this game, I think that also I want to say Suarez had a goal in this one too. Let me double check here. I think Suarez had a goal in this one because we played them again. Suarez definitely had a goal. I remember. I think this is the game. Either this was the game or let me double check. I think this is the game, or it was the next. It was the earlier fixture that Andrea. What's his name? He was a sub for us. He came in. He had that. Yeah, DeSena. Yes, I think he had a goal in this too. I want to say that.
Well, no DeSena, no
that game.
No. It's not in this game. It's not in this game. It's not in this game. My fault. It wasn't in this game because he wasn't part of this club, part of the team in 2014. My bad. No. But
he left back and scored.
Yeah,
he scored against United. He scored the famous chip against United when we beat them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what it was that was other scores in this game, but I know that Coutinho. The main highlight of this game for me was
Henderson. Henderson got one, didn't he? Gallop forward, like when he was all gallopy years ago, like in there, took one in, didn't he?
Oh yeah. Henderson got a goal where it was like it was like a weird goal because it looked like it might have like won off Suarez maybe, and I think that like but Suarez gave. You could see when Suarez was walking out, he like pointed and said, "No, Hendo got that one." I think that it was credited to Hendo in that. But big up Nolante, by the way. Big up on joining us, by the way.
Yeah, no, as always. Big up most of the host. Evening, Bri, JK, Lee, chat, blessings. Blessings, and facts from JK. I told Sturridge even. It's fine. Before you go on with the game with Sturridge, just to JK. I remember watching him at Chelsea.
KJ saying it.
KJ, sorry. JK, you know, sorry. JK.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. JK. You're thinking, what? I'm here, man. You're like, thinking, well, I'm here, man. What's wrong with you?
I know this. About Sturridge.
Exactly. What's wrong with you? We're brothers. And now I'm disrespecting the thing. But no, good. No, so KJ, yeah. The thing with his Sturridge, I remember telling people at the time, I remember he went to Chelsea. He was not going to get games. Obviously, Drogba was the guy, and then he had to spell out a bowl and where he balled that. And I said to myself, "This guy is going to be a player. This is the guy we got him." And he's right. If he was fit, he would have been better than Kane. He was honestly so oh my god, so underrated, Sturridge. But anyway,
yeah. Do you remember Dean Sturridge for Derby? Dean Sturridge was a good forward.
Yeah, his uncle. Yeah, his uncle for Derby County. Yeah. Better than his uncle.
Yeah. I'll just say it now. Big up Abdul. I see you. Big up to KJ. Big up to Cedric. I said it earlier before you came in, Bernadette, but big up to Bernie,
blessings.
Of course.
Blessings.
Big up. Always blessings.
Apple, blessings.
Oh, and big up to Philip. Big up to Philip. I don't know if I said hello. And big up to Lee as well. Hope you're doing well, Lee. Definitely.
Big up, Lee.
It's good to see you in the chat as well. And yeah, I think that's all that I've seen at least chime in at least right now. I will pull up that game too, by the way. I'm going to pull that game up because those are the two goals. That goal I do remember. I remember the Hendo game, Hendo goal. And then there was a goal by the one primary goal that I remember from this game, because this game was like a good game. It was a beatdown in that, like I said, it was 4-0. Was it like the most memorable? No, I don't think it was the most. That's why I got in that number 10 for me. I don't know. Obviously, it's not obviously most memorable for a lot of you guys either, since like you're relying on me to pull out the memories for this one. I don't know if anyone in the chat has some memories of this game to share as well. But let's just move on. Because you know why? Because you know what? The next one I do remember a little bit better as well, in that I have definitely a little bit more of a fonder memories of it. And that is, let's move on to number 9. Whoops. Pushing the wrong thing here. Let's move on to number 9. Big up on me. Big up. And number 9 would be the 5-0 beatdown that we did that year against Tottenham. There's not many years that you really think about it that you have such a dramatic score differential against a club, especially a club like the likes of, I know, big up El Nino, right? I love El Nino's my guy. But there's not many years that you have such a dramatic difference in goal differential against one team, and especially when it's a team of the levels of a Spurs or the Big Six. We won 5-0.
Really well this game, yeah. It was a really good game. It was a smashing performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, this one was a little bit different story. This one was
Jerry on the cake. Flanagan getting his goal because he's like a scouser and that, like he got on the team to play left back and get forward, because usually he'd be right back, but he played left back and he got forward and got a goal, didn't he? And that was the cherry on the cake.
Mm-hmm. This game was a 5-0 win, December 15th, 2013. It was a 5-0 win. Obviously, he's at home. And Suarez had a double in this game. He was wearing the captain's band, actually, too, in this game. We did the whole, like, trivia thing about how many times Some of the players have won the captain's armband. And I think he's only worn it maybe 2, if not 3 times, but this was one of the times that he did get to wear it. I think the only thing you would have to do in this game is possibly argue which goal was better for Suarez. Suarez had 2 incredible goals in this game. He had his catalog is like phenomenal. His catalog is like absolutely phenomenal when it comes to the goals he scored especially for Liverpool. But you'd have to make this goal right here that I've like put in the picture is the chip that he had over the goalkeeper, and then the second one was where he just like
the thing about the performance for me, it wasn't just like a couple of players were on fire. Everyone played brilliantly in that game.
Yeah.
From front to back, like we were excellent that night.
Yeah. Even Sterling had a good game in this one, and it was notable. These are possibly the 2 players I don't particularly enjoy talking about, but I gave them their due all the same. They're part of our lore, so I gave them their due. Hi, Laura. I'll star your comments too. By the way, I will bring up some of your updates I see that you're putting in the chat. I will bring them up at the end of the show.
Does anyone think James Pearce looks a bit like a hobbit?
Okay, I wasn't thinking that one, but okay. that was a random stray, but okay. Yeah, you know what's tough about this one too, by the way, about the 9 goal differential, was the fact that I included the Spurs matchups, but I don't know. Again, it goes to what Brian was saying earlier about the whole Big 6 and the whole 9. Like are they Big 6? Technically, yes, they are. But when it comes to some of the performances that they've given, or some of the games that we've had against them, not so much. So it's been an interesting ride when it comes to that. That's why I had them at 10.
Yeah, one of them sides that Spurs, that Liverpool have never had a drought for tonking. We tonked them regularly over the years, and I don't think there's ever been like 2 seasons where we haven't 2 seasons in a row where we haven't tonked them once. That's Spurs for you, you know what I mean? That's our relationship with Spurs in the Premier League, and beforehand, we give them tonking.
Yeah. Number eight. And again, you guys can chime in, and if you guys have a fond memory that you want to include or want to talk about in the games, that's why I definitely wanted to make sure I had some of the best historians of our club to be on the panel today, so that we can make sure that you get a real accurate revision of it, because unfortunately I couldn't pull up the clips for you. I wish I could pull up some of the clips, but some of them were absolutely fantastic. But anyways, number 8, there's only one 8. There's only one 8 in our lives, at least one number 8 in our lives, I think. I think that's safe to say.
Navigate.
Yeah, let's say big up Dominic. Big up Dominic. I thought you could have said Nabby. You could have said Nabby too.
Yeah, I went with
Nabby. But big up. And number 8 on this list, I had number 8 being the 2016 March 2nd, 2016 3-0 win over Manchester City. I think fittingly it was the old guard that got the party started pretty much in this game. Lallana had the opening goal in this game. Milner had a great goal in this. Yeah, Millie Vanilli. Millie had a great goal in this game too. It was like a really, the goal was so cool that it got Klopp off his seat because he was sitting down when Milner scored. I thought this game was definitely an oldie but goldie.
There's another club we
oldie but goodie.
always tonked. There was never like more than like 3 games went like past that we didn't tonk Man City when I was like young. You know what I mean? There was just like there was
there were other games.
Man City.
So there were other games that we've beaten Manchester City. For instance, I actually have the list up here. Let me see. So there's other games that we've played well against them. 2010 or excuse me, 2011. I mean, obviously, we had a 3-0 win. We had what was another one? We had 2016, but but there was very few games in that initial season for Jurgen that I thought was really as memorable as this one.
Yeah, it was quite a milestone, wasn't it? That performance in that season,
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was pretty memorable to have. I thought it was this game kind of signified for me at least that this was going to be the start of something special. I'm sure there's other games maybe in the season that year that maybe you got that that loving feeling but this game was memorable. This time game's memorable. Do you guys have any distinct memories about this game that you wanted to talk about, or?
Just that it was nice after them beating us to the title in 13-14. This was a little bit after that, but it was nice. It felt nicer for that reason for me anyway.
Yeah. Include Bernie says we were so lucky to have signed Millie. The service he gave us was sensational. Absolutely. Playing against his former team. Playing against his former team too.
Yeah,
what were you saying, Brian?
That was one of those games kind of it showed you that we could compete with them. I think that's what I like. There was a couple of ones back in the day where we put 3 past them twice, and it was I think like you said, I think it was around the time that we realized that we were probably going to be the ones going toe to toe with them.
Yeah, definitely. That's how I saw it, at least. That's exactly how I saw it. Let us move on to lucky number 7. Number 7. For number 7, I had 2013-2014 Arsenal victory.
Big.
This was a unique game. I'll give you a little background on this game as well, so that you can maybe kickstart.
Play for Liverpool.
Yeah. I like Skirtle, actually. I thought he was a good center back, by the way. I thought he was always I thought Agger and Skirtle together were a really I like the pairing of those two center backs.
I like Skirtle. He was good, wasn't he?
Was that?
He was good Skirtle. I liked him. I was a big fan of Skirtle, while he was here. I mean, it wasn't the greatest time in our history, but he did what he could, didn't he? To whatever. Yeah. It was
neither of them could.
It was part.
But
neither of them could.
Do it.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Either of them. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying neither. They're both great, but obviously Agger was far better, more accomplished player, but neither of them could stay fit. Skirtle had horrible luck with injuries, even later on in his career. He's still playing until recently, very, very recently, at the age of 40 for his local team, but he could. Yeah, he had no luck. Between him and Agger, I shudder to think how many games they missed. But it was a great pairing, like you said. It was you had the skill of Agger and the class of Agger, and then Martin Skirtle, proper hard man centre half.
Exactly.
A whole lot of tattoos, everything. On his day, he was a good player. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're just unlucky. The two of them just couldn't stay fit.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly. Oh, go ahead, Levante.
Oh no, sorry. I was just saying about the Skirtle. Mainly I get the Skirtle, but I'm sorry. Yeah, I got to disagree. I didn't like Skirtle. I thought he's
You didn't
bang
like him,
average.
oh.
No,
Oh.
no, I did not like him at all. I think he was bang average, if I'm honest. And it kind of shows with his defending. But you know, he had good games, but no, not for me. I go
In
with
this
the
game, he was good.
this game. Yeah, I think this
This
game.
game,
Yeah,
he was
this
really
game
good.
was good.
Real good.
Yeah,
Just a
he
fun.
had two
He
really
was
awesome. He had
coming
two
back
good
here.
goals.
Yeah.
That's quite a
This is
new
one of
yeah,
my
it used to be two
favorite
countries.
ever Liverpool games. This one here. There's like 20
Yeah.
minutes we just battered them. It was just like, I know it was Brendan Rodgers. That's the only downfall of that. If it was Jurgen Klopp or someone else, it would have been even better, But because it was Brenda. But for me, one of my favorite ever Liverpool games, man. I will never forget that game.
You know what? Funny enough, I was at that game. That was one of the best games. Yeah, I was at the game. Yeah,
You
and
were there?
yeah, I was there.
Nice.
Yeah. I was there, and it was just electric. I think after 5, the crowd we were just chanting for the 6. But obviously they slowed down. But yeah, that was just mind blowing. And Wenger, he was struggling. There's one point, not even the goal. There's one chance. I think Suarez done some mad. Forget about the man, but the play. He done some mad volley from 30 or 40
Yeah.
yards and he hit the
Oh,
post.
hit the post.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
So that,
Mhm.
yeah. Him, Star Sterling, and then Jack Wilshere, because we all remember Jack Wilshere was the so-called golden boy. Remember? Golden boy. Took on Xavi Iniesta, the golden
There's
boy.
loads of them
He could have
London
done...
ones. There's been about 1,000,001 of them
Exactly.
London kids who've like been the next
Yeah.
Pele, and then like it just doesn't happen.
Yes, all right. Yeah. But the
James
funny...
Madison. Yeah. Go.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, sorry guys, I know you're gonna both say something. But funny thing is,
No,
at the
go
time,
ahead, Nolante. You were at the game, man. Tell us what it was
yeah, I was at
like.
the
Yeah,
game.
You
what
were
to
there.
say? Yeah, tell us
The
your memory.
atmosphere was
That's what this
electric.
is. This is just a walk down memory lane. That's basically
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Cole was one of those ones. One he like, oh god, he was shit when he was here, Joe Cole.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
The atmosphere.
good atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I'll say the atmosphere is electric. Just going down Anfield Road. Honestly, it was just, when we've all been to games. At some point, what I mean. When you just go and there's a feeling.
Yeah,
There's a feeling. I just had that feeling, but I think none of us could have expected that. And the funny thing is, I was just mentioning about Wilshere because he was the, like I said, because he took on Xavi and Iniesta, and Arsenal won one game in 2-legged Champions League time. Oh, he's the golden boy. Oh, he's going to turn it on. That day, Wilshere was pocketed nicely by Hendo. Nicely, he was silenced, which was one of the funny things for me. And then I think you guys remember a certain Mr. Coneman was playing in that game.
Wait for it. Yeah, wait for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes, he was.
And I remember, and it's funny, apart from the goals, I remember him arguing with teammates on the pitch about position Mertesacker. It was glorious. The only thing I'm just sad it wasn't 6.
Yeah, he had some
Did
bad
any of you guys
performances
rate
against us there.
Mertesacker? Did you
No.
rate him? No,
I think he was just a name, bro.
He
His name
wasn't like awful, but he had some bad performances against us, mate, and this game was one of them.
Yeah, but he's more like of a name, and he sort of carried that name into whatever he did.
Vermaelen was good, and then he
With
got
Germany,
that injury. He was a good player. Vermaelen got that.
Yeah.
Bad shame for him, like.
I think he was. Sorry. I think he was better. He was good, but not in England. Not in England. I don't think England was ideal for him. I thought he did okay. He's one of those players because of his
size.
physique. He looked worse than he was.
He did. He looked
worse
comically ungainly at times.
Yeah, and he was actually quite decent.
And small attackers just like add him off and that. Like he did look comically ungainly.
Yeah, I don't think he was that bad.
Yeah, this game, as Lante was saying, and he had the pleasure of going to, had 2 great goals by not one of his favorite players, at least, Skirtle. And it also had 2 goals from Mr. doing the wave right there, pop locking for you.
The thing with Mertesacker is you associate German international centre halves with being good, and when he turned out to be a bit shit, like I was shocked.
Yeah. I get you. And also, as you all were alluding to, and as Hyler was asking, this game had the eventual Arsenal manager of today on the pitch who scored the penalty kick for them in this game to make it 5-1. Kind of a throwaway goal. But yeah. Arteta. Lego Head had his goal in this one. Wow.
Now, obviously, this is like Liverpool, like so. Everton are going to be in this. Everton still should be in the big six on trophies, like
they should.
One.
You think
League one? Oh yeah, I mean
they're not. Yeah, I didn't include Everton because Everton.
Man United. It's funny when we batter Everton, mate.
I didn't include Everton only because they're not considered to be part of the big six.
This same season, 13-14, I was telling Brian, I was drinking around here, and this guy said to me, he said, I can tell you're a Liverpool fan by looking at you. He said, I can smell you. This is what this guy said to me.
That's cool. I mean, that's good. He can smell success. That's good. That's pretty good. Bottle that. Bottle it up. If only that Sturridge half volley went in. Oh,
yeah, by looking at me, you could tell I was a Liverpool fan, apparently. And then I admitted an odor that he got onto as well. Like, yeah, he had to be in his bonnet over something. Like, I know Everton are a bad side. Like, that's the type of outrageous comment you occasionally get around there. Like,
yeah, we could do Everton. We can do a Derby special or something like that. But go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
No, I was only joking, Lee.
Oh, okay. All right, let's move on to our number 6 then. All right, move on to our number 6.
Also, can I just throw this in? Not just spankings when you beat a team by a load of goals. It's like how memorable it is that it's like a spanking in that sense.
That's what.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Spanking.
It wasn't just all about it wasn't all just about the score, as in it'd be easy. You just look up the score and just put in a bunch of scores that scored a lot and they scored a little, or if any. But these games were games that we did really, really embarrass.
Yeah, we only won 3-2 against Everton at Wembley in '89, mate. It was only a 1-goal margin, but that was a fucking a noticeable one, Yeah, Everton have got to be in the big six because they've won 8 titles. Chelsea haven't even won that many, so bollocks to Chelsea. They're my favourites, if I can just say that. Chelsea, because in the Abramovich years, we never battered them. Last time I can remember us battering them was 5-1 at Anfield when Berger scored twice and Matteo scored as well. And then there was a drought in beating Chelsea right through the Abramovich years.
Good segue.
Line, you know what I mean? I can't remember.
That's a good segue.
4 scoring 4 or 5 against them once in that time.
That's a good segue. You spoke of the Blues. There weren't there. If you ever look at our history with Chelsea, there aren't that many games, at least especially in the Premier League, that have big scores or have a lot of goals in them.
See, the thing is, when we beat them that time, we were a big club, but all these years have passed by now, you know what I mean? And their fan base, I can't fucking stand. Them as a club, I can't stand. Just the way it went down with Abramovich, you could just have anyone. It was just really ugly. And that's why I really enjoyed that 5-1 at Anfield. I think it was 94 or 95. I think.
Oh, you're talking about the 5-1.
Frank Leboeuf was playing. Frank Leboeuf was in the middle of a 3 for Chelsea. And yet that was my favourite spanking because we just haven't done that to Chelsea. I don't think we've ever done it since.
Yeah, we haven't really done a lot of big games against them like that, and that's why this game in particular I had as being. Oops, I'm pushing the wrong thing. as our number 6.
Over the years, looking back on that is wonderful.
Just as our number 6.
Second only to Man United and how virulently I loathe them.
Yeah.
You can't knock United off the top spot, but Chelsea will always be number 2.
Yeah. Here, let me get through these. Let me get through them. You can talk about them. Let me get through these couple. All right. I'll just intro them. I'll do my best. Mohamed Salah with the assist to you guys. Because this one was, I think the reason why I have Connor Bradley in this game in as the highlight or as in the focus of this game was, I think this was possibly, I know that he had other games that he had, decent performances in, or not, or even his debut was a decent performance for us as well. But I think this was one of Connor's best games in a Liverpool kit. We saw him score in this game. We saw him I think he got an assist in this game, I want to say too. I'm not certain. I think he got the assist to Dom, I want to say. Dominic had a good goal in this game. And I think he was from Bradley. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But
was it better?
Huh?
I'm sure it's better. Bradley's assist.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah.
The best victories over Chelsea were the ones by a tight margin, which were the 2 Champions League finals, which enraged Mourinho. So
yeah. But this is the only reason why those games aren't in the list is because this is for just Premier League in the actual league games. So there are games that we actually did embarrass other teams in other portions of other competitions, but this is all just Premier League. But what I was getting at in this game, again, my memory about this game, why I thought it was the number 6 memory is because, again, we don't beat Chelsea really by a heavy margin too often. This game was a pinnacle game because Chelsea was looked at as being a team that could possibly get a result at Anfield. We've seen them get draws or see them get, or have our 1-0, 2-1s, or type games. So this was big in my mind. I know Nkuku got a goal that gave him a little bit sense of false hope. I think by that time it was already like 2-1, 3-1. I think by that time, but again, this game also saw Darwin with a fantastic low cross to Lucho for the goal. For Lucho's goal, it's kind of a wild, like he was just sliding in. All he had to do was like basically tap it in, but he was like, he was like sliding on. I remember he was just sliding in and kind of like just threw his body in front of it, and it went into the goal. It was the cross header from Dominic Bonkers. Yes, you're right about that. From that right there is the goal, I believe, and then he had a cross to Dominic for a header. This was like a 4-1 victory, by the way, too. This is a good game. I don't know if you guys.
We've had loads of fantastic players at Liverpool, but in the Abramovich era, the ease with which Chelsea were just able to go out and buy absolutely anybody in world football was just so depressing. Like, in its regularity, it was just like, every 5 minutes there was a star name waltzing in. And that's why I've come to like really dislike them. So I'll have this one with you. I said the 5-1 from the mid-90s before the Abramovich era. But yeah, it's been horrible. It was horrible to watch the last 20 years. Like, yeah, so I've grown a dislike of them that is only surpassed by Man United.
Yeah. Any memories about this game for you guys before we move on?
Oh, just Bradley. Bradley coming in and kind of giving him, announcing himself. I think he's probably still his best game for us, in fairness. Goal and assist. I think he scored. I know he scored again very soon after that, or he scored and he got another assist. I think he had like a couple of goals and a couple of assists in a very short period of time. But yeah, this was a real kind of
breakout
announcing yourself to the world game. Yeah, so that was absolutely the standard. Like a little bit like Lee says. To me, I would probably get more satisfaction out of beating Chelsea 1-0 than I would get out of beating Arsenal 3 or 4. You know, there is a lot more. I do enjoy beating Chelsea at any kind of, you know, so every game against them is a good one. Like Arsenal, of course, brilliant to beat them. But just, I take a 1-0. It doesn't have to be a massive one. Because, and like Lee is saying, they're not a team that we ever have like really gone out there and smacked up on a regular occasion. You know, we have those teams that we do that to. We always beat such and such. We always beat the Chelsea was just one of those teams. So, but yeah, definitely this huge. I don't think Connor's ever looked back really.
Oh, that's one thing I will throw in. When I was a kid, when Chelsea were rubbish and they used to get relegated on the regular, we never smacked them then. They were never the team we smacked like score wise. Never. It was always tough down there. It was always tough down there at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, these were during the years too when, like, you know, when we were facing them in a lot of those cup competitions, cup finals too. A lot of cup finals.
We're playing them every 5 minutes, man. Every bloody fight. That's part of the reason I hate them as well, because we got to experience them so often in the last since Rafa. You know, every. With Klopp, if it wasn't them, it was City, but it was more often than not, it was bloody Chelsea.
Yeah,
like the same season we played them both cup finals. Jesus Christ, these guys.
Yes, like can't we find another opponent? Please, come on.
Chelsea had when I was a kid was when Kerry Dixon and Pat Nevin were in it, and then Everton bought Pat Nevin.
Oh yeah,
and he was good. He was really good. Pat Nevin, he was like from bastard in the derbies, like he was a really good winger, Pat Nevin. And that was the only one I can remember that was any good. Before my time, like they were good in the 70s for a bit of something. Chelsea, they won the Cup Winners' Cup. They won the FA Cup and then won the Cup Winners' Cup, I think. And that's the history of their club.
That's what they were known. They were known for being a decent cup side. They were known for being in the 70s, 80s. They were London, so they had the odd kind of big name player or whatever. But they were known for being a good cup side, finishing 8th, 9th, 10th, and having a run in the cup. So that was Chelsea for a very, very long time.
I was just saying, big up to Red Armchair Supporter for that. I do. Chilwell tried to act the hard man against Bradley in this game, and Bradley just laughed.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was good. That was so good.
Do you remember when Klopp first come in and we were massively linked with Chilwell, but like I don't know, we couldn't afford him. It's like basically the gist of it. Like, but I'm glad we didn't get him.
I'm good on that.
I don't know how it's gone for him. Pre-Robbo, that was pre-Robbo, wasn't it? Before we bought Robbo.
He's never fit either. Chilwell.
Well, I know that I included Daniel because if you got "You'll Never Walk Alone" tattooed on your knuckles, you know, on your fist, basically, you definitely get a thumbs up as a ride or die from me, and that's what Agger is. So at number 5, I have, of course, the high fives, 2021, 2022. You knew it was going to be in this list. I don't know if everyone thought, maybe people have it higher or would have it higher. But this game was so good, surely by the fact that watching Red Devil supporters leave, and it wasn't even really halftime yet, really. And you saw people starting to like make their way to the steps. I was like, oh wow. I remember that broadcast too. They had the broadcast and they showed like it wasn't from a blimp, but you know, like that overhead camera angle of the stadium and of the the walkway and everything else, and you can just see this mass of people just leaving the game as if it's the end of the game. I'm like, they're about to do halftime reflections. Like, oh man. In what could have been also possibly Naby's best game as a Red. Now I know the picture right there of Naby looking back. I just love that picture of him. That's not in this game. Let me just openly admit that. But the one where they're all celebrating, that is in this game. And this could have been Naby's best game. Unfortunately, much like Naby, he got injured in it or picked up an injury, like much of his career with us, unfortunately. And what was really, really, really telling of this game is that Bruno Fernandes was acting like a jerk. Obviously, Pogba was acting like a jerk. He's the one that actually took out Naby. Ronaldo was acting like a jerk in this game. I think Maguire was acting like one too, I want to say.
Their whole team was petulant because they were on the end of a spanking.
Yeah.
What was the score at that point there?
Or at this point where they're celebrating, or
yeah, where they're celebrating.
1 second.
Probably.
That was for that was for actually Salah's goal there. Actually, it wasn't for Naby. But let me double check for you. So
don't worry, there's a reason I'm asking this question. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. Do tell then. Do tell.
No, I just want to be sure what if it was that the final whatever it was.
Yeah,
this is one of my favorite matches or results of all time. This one, but I don't want to go overboard because Man United aren't that good, are they really?
Yeah.
Better teams.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it up here for you. Because this game was October 24th, 2021.
Shame Norm isn't here.
I know. I was hoping that he was going to be here, to be honest with you, because that would have been cool. That would have been super cool. Let me see if I can. I'll get back there.
Norm will probably remember what Nelante was wearing at the Arsenal game and what he had had.
Probably so.
Yeah, I clocked him in the crowd. Clocked him.
Yeah, let me see. I'll pull it up here for you. Pull it up. See if I can get to it. Yeah, this game was absolutely awesome game. And let me see.
Hey, Dara.
Big up, Dara.
Yeah, I know, Red Armchair. I make it make sense,
What was that?
Oh, it's not. It's a bit blue for. It's a bit Well, it's a nasty chant that they sing. He was just taking the piss out of them.
I was gonna say the chant this was not the birth, but it was one of the loving renditions of Ali at the Wheel that I remember ever being sung at this ever in the history of that song being sung. Oh man.
We sing their songs better than they do.
Yeah. Like I said, that was the cool thing about everyone leaving the way that they kind of left with everyone leaving the stadium, not everyone, but when a good chunk of the supporters left the stadium, Reds weren't leaving the stadium. They were loving every minute of it. They were waiting to see what score we were going to get up to. And oh my goodness. Yeah, that one was a great rendition of it when they were singing that.
Well, hey, look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I was just going to make a. It's gone on too long. I was just going to make a joke about the guy in the crowd over Diego Jota's left shoulder being unable to count. That's all.
I got you.
More than two, mate. It was more than two.
It was a lot more than two. It was definitely two. More than two.
Yeah, the size of the scoreline was bigger here, but the one in 13-14 I loved because we hadn't bossed them on their own pitch like that in a long time. But Gerrard won it. Hat-trick of pens won it, and he hit the post with his third one. We won 3-0, so who scored the other goal then? I've forgotten in that one. Because we hadn't done that to them on their own pitch, it wasn't as big the scoreline, but it was just...
Well, the big thing about this... The big thing about this game was the fact that...
Remember I said before, obviously Moyes was Everton manager before he went to United, and he was a prick when he was here on Merseyside. Moyes always going on about Everton are the people's club, this, that, the other. So when we went there and did that to his United side, it was just blissful. And it was the first time in, pre-Fergie era since we bossed them on their own pitch like that. So that one was like lovely. Although this one was bigger in scoreline, that one was just, the feeling from that one was just blissful.
Yeah. The cool thing about this game was that Ronaldo had a goal called back, I think it was by VAR, for offside. Because he thought he had scored. He thought he had put an end to it. He thought, he got his consolation goal, and then they were like, no, let's we're gonna have to take that one away. But yeah, Luke Shaw was just made fun of by Salah with this play.
Why not?
I mean, it was ugly. Trent had an assist in this game to Diego. I think that was the first goal, I want to say. Or no, I think did Naby get the first goal, or did Diego get the first goal in this one?
And
you guys remember?
Naby kicked
Naby,
didn't he?
Yeah. Okay. And then that it was a great game. Great game, 5-0. And again, the biggest thing about this game was the fact that Hendo's pass was outrageous to Salah. It was, and on top of that, Mo went. He had already, United already hated Salah for what he generates against them in offensive productivity. But in this game, getting a hat trick is a unique thing because not many have gotten hat tricks at Old Toilet, and this is one of Salah's, I think, big accomplishments. One of his great accomplishments in his storied career with us. So that's why I have number 5. Number 4. Number 4. I think Virgil's pointing to hit the button, 12th man. And
what number was Vitic when he played for United? Remember, when Torres beat him to the ball, he tried to grab Torres.
Yeah, I know.
And then got up as if he'd been fouled.
This is a top 10, please. So just let's
no, just don't throw that one in.
Yeah, this is a top 10. Don't give any spoilers, bro. Don't give any spoilers.
Torres.
Number 4, I know Brian said something about he likes Chelsea over Arsenal. So I'm sure when he does his rendition of what he would do for his top 10, it will be possibly different. However, for myself, I can't say enough about this game. This is one of my favorite games to rewatch, actually. Now, there's certain games that I like. There's certain games I will watch when I'm down.
What have I said now? Sorry, wait. What have I said? What did I say?
You said that you like Chelsea. You like to beat down on Chelsea more so than Arsenal. You said.
Oh, Oh well, yeah. I mean, I know. I hate Chelsea. I don't hate Arsenal. I've never had a hate for Arsenal, but I genuinely hate Chelsea as a club.
Right,
It's
right.
more that than it's like, oh, but I don't know. Does
What?
anybody really hate Arsenal? We've never had a hate thing for them, have we?
Oh no,
Really?
yeah.
It's
You know
more
what
of
it
a
is?
kind of
It's maybe even
whatever.
less about Arsenal per se, but because I'll be honest with you, I don't have a problem with Arsene Wenger or anything
This
like
was a
that.
great
Like as
game.
in, I actually respect him, but it's more so about the fans you meet online that I think stems the hatred for the Gooners. I think it's less about the players and the team. Arteta doesn't do.
No, yeah, I don't like Arteta
Before the
either.
90s,
That's a fact.
yeah,
That's a
before
fact.
the
Arteta
90s,
doesn't help.
Right.
Arsenal, their only memories of Liverpool should be good ones, which is beating us in the FA Cup final in 1970 and then beating us to the league in 1989. So Arsenal fans should have viewed Liverpool, oh yeah, we do good against them. Do you know what I mean? Because we'd never done that to them, beat them in the final or anything like. Oh, they blew out 87 in the League Cup as well. I remember that one. They beat us, Charlie Nicholas. This terrible deflected goal for them to win to 2-1. So yeah, Arsenal always won against us when it was the big game, the two finals and the league in 89. And then obviously there was the Wenger years and it was a bit different for them, innit? Like, and their fan base changed maybe a bit.
Oh yeah, their fan base went through some definite cycles of despair, and even to the point where they were, saying some really, really scandalous things about a coach that I think really was significant in their history, but yet the way that sometimes they would talk about him was as if he was insignificant. But what I was going to say about this game, and again, this is a quick, short, I'll give you the premise behind it. December 29th, 2018, 5-1 victory. Obviously at home. My biggest thing was, I don't know if you've ever seen a football player samba during a game. And I mean during a game. Maybe after a celebration for a goal or something like that. Yeah. But Bobby was dancing through Arsenal in this game. And giving out samba lessons to the Gooners in this one. Obviously, this is arguably one of my favorite Bobby moments. We saw a look away goal. This is the look away goal right here in the right hand corner that he had. That was so dirty. That was just like so dirty to do. And then you also had the multiple, which is on the left hand of the screen. You had the multiple sit down of Gooners, where he looked like he was playing Duck Duck Goose with some of them, or maybe even musical chairs, because Salah and Mane had a connection in this game as well. It was a really nice goal, to tell you the truth, for them, but it was simply Bobby's day on this game. It was absolutely a game that you had to stand and applaud and appreciate the sheer brilliance of Bobby.
Yeah, there was never any ill will with Arsenal, and if there was, it was probably from us, because the only times that we played them in big games, they always won, which was like I said, the 89 title and those two cup finals. And aside from that, it never hate Arsenal, but their 89 cup final did, spawn Nick Hornby's novel Fever Pitch, which is one of the greatest literary crimes of the century. And so I do hold that against Arsenal.
Bernie's got a question for you guys. Is this the game where he put his hand over his eye like a patch? I'm trying to remember if that was this game or not. I think this might have been that game, actually, because he had gotten poked in the eye. Do any of you guys remember? If this is the game?
I remember him doing it. Yeah, I remember the celebration she's talking about, but I couldn't tell you whether it was this game or not. No, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, the poke in the eye. Yeah. I remember it's Tottenham.
It was against Spurs,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Spurs, yeah. But that's when I think they were still at Wembley, I believe, when the new stadium is getting built. So yeah. Tottenham.
Okay. Yeah, this game was
And shout outs, by the way, clearly, to answer your question, have I ever seen a Brazilian dance on the pitch before? At least one or two. I think Ronaldinho might be wanting a word. I've seen him dance through a few defenses.
I meant in the
Chelsea,
Premier League. In the Premier League, I
Chelsea.
was but yes.
Oh yeah, well yeah. But that Ronaldinho little shimmy before he made a Chelsea whole back line just looked stupid. That's one.
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh,
god, that was Brian,
oh,
honestly.
Ronnie, don't stop. Don't ever stop, Ronnie.
I'll tell you, you're right, bro. That was, but sometimes in life when you're speechless, that's one of them.
That's cool. All right. So number 3. Number 3. He had to go 2008, 2009. At least I had 2009. The 4-1 victory. This was at Old Toilet. 4-1. I don't think Fergie didn't get speechless too often. But in this one, he was left to just chomp on his gum as if he was like a cow chewing on curd for a little bit, because that's all he could do was just take his anger out on his Wrigley's spearmint, I guess. This is one of those sweet moments to watch. He was all smiles and jubilation when CR7 scored a penalty, but then it does. But doesn't happen often, like I said. But it does.
This one because we didn't win the title. This is a bittersweet one.
Right.
We didn't win the title, but Vidic trying to grasp in air when Torres breezed past him and then falling over and getting up and pretending he'd been fouled was just. It was heaven on earth that moment, wasn't it?
Yeah. As I was saying though, I know it happens quite a bit. I know it rains quite a bit in England. I think that in this game particularly, it might not have been raining, but it was certainly raining goals in this one, because as you all know, this individual is one of my favorite players. Certainly in that list of favorite players. And he scored a great goal where he actually made Vidic look like he was just getting done Sunday League. I don't know what this goal was a wild one, by the way. In case you guys don't remember, I know you on the panel do, but in case those of you in the
I remember the chat
maybe
as a chant, and basically, from what I can remember, it just said.
Right.
Vidic, il media.
Right.
The chance, something. The man you Vidic, il media. That was their chance.
Yeah, it was.
I think what you could compare it to, and but with the massive caveat that not in terms of the player and style of play, but if you remember, like at the very peak of the whole. Virgil van Dijk hasn't been dribbled past in 75 hours of football. He hasn't lost a tackle in 23 months. When he was right at that sort of unbeatable peak, and when I can't remember that game in Europe where it was a 2v1 and he just basically Jedi mind tricked the other guy into just giving away the ball while standing 20 yards away from him, where he was just like this monster that couldn't be beaten. Vidic was that Rio and Vidic partnership was close to that, and Vidic especially because he was the physical one. He'd never been beaten like that. He had never lost a physical battle in such an obvious and clear way in a match like that. You can see it in his face. He's like, what has just happened there? That has never happened to me. Yeah, he came in. He'd been pretty much unbeatable. That partnership had been unbeatable, and Torres like that. It's up like the Ivanovic moment. in his debut game where he stops Ivanovic in a millisecond, and Ivanovic can't move anymore, and he's gone. And they bends it. That's one of the greatest goals he scored. It was his debut, his first goal. But that moment up there where he bodied and bullied Vidic into dust, Vidic never really recovered from that. He was never that like. He was not that immovable presence anymore. He just destroyed him. He literally look at the face. Look at him. Look at him. He's not. That's not a man that thinks I've been fouled. That's a man who thinks I've been retired. Yeah, he ain't been fouled. He's been retired. He's been demoted to the bit. Like it's just he's not like the same player anymore.
I think the win stuck because he was still pulling that face when he stood up.
Oh, Torres! Wow, prime Torres. Jesus, unstoppable. Utterly
he burned so brightly, didn't he, Torres? Like in that small time, like he burned so brightly. It was glorious. Wasn't it?
And what a kit to do it in! What a kit to do it in! If you're going to do it in an away kit, the classic grey one. It's oh man, that's one of my all-time favorite goals. Forget that, just not Liverpool goals, just that. That's one of the best. That's one of my favorite goals ever.
Yeah, that is a really, really great goal. Sorry. Really great goal. I love myself some
long after that, like once your business got up when he started trying to convince the referee.
Well, this game also was the game that is. This game also is the game that has the iconic shot the iconic shot of Stevie G when he goes over and kisses the camera on his goal.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And also shout out. I believe you like. Isn't Fabio one of the guys that you one of your favorites? I believe, right? Isn't or no?
What Aurelio?
Yeah.
You mean Aurelio Barini?
No. Yeah, Aurelio.
Oh God, yeah. The free kick. Oh
yeah.
Wow.
He's one of my that free kick was sick.
Yeah. That's why he's one of my all-time favorites. That's what he could do with a ball. That guy was.
And this game, this is the game that I got it mixed up in my head for I don't know what reason. I know I was going to talk about it probably but you're right. This is the game that Andrea had that great chip style, like side foot chip goal in.
Yeah.
As a substitute.
When he's doing that to you, you know it ain't your day.
Yeah. You might as well just pack it in and go home. Yeah. This one was a great one. Definitely great one. All right. So we are getting down to the nitty-gritty, people. The nitty-gritty. And we have just 2 left. Who is at number 2 for me? And at number 2 is... Who is it, Joey? Who is it? It is the Man City 2019-2020 game. Now, I know it might not be for everyone, considering it wasn't high, 5-0 or 4-1 or something like that. It was a 3-1 game. Some might say that's not exactly a beatdown. But if you know City, that is a beatdown, Possibly Fabinho's best goal in a Liverpool kit. Arguably, maybe. Fabinho was fouled in the box, by the way, I think, prior to Bernardo Silva, a.k.a. Master Splinter, getting his goal to make it 3-1, by the way. It should have been a 3-0 game, I think, personally. But okay, all good. But there was a great diving header in this game to all the Robbo haters that don't apparently remember some of the memories that he brought. This game it was excuse me, it was a particular a series of play where Trent cross switch fields and had to pass to Robbo. Robbo had to pass almost like it was like a one touch, then passed it, made an incredible cross into Salah, and Salah like no lie, it was right in the path of in stride. Brilliant header in for an absolutely amazing goal. That was like kind of like the cherry on the top. I think this game was kind of like the cherry on the top of a fantastic year for us, and one where we were just really feeling ourselves, I guess you could say, in that this was just an amazing game. And that's why I have it at our number 2, beatdown, because again, you're not going to have many beatdowns from City or against City. This one was one where they just did not look like they had any answers. And that's just my opinion. But is there anything that you guys remember particularly about this game that maybe I didn't mention, or maybe you want to go more in depth on? Lee?
No, I was thinking about the first game I ever went to was Manchester at Anfield. But in my avatar in that kit, it was that season 81-82. Grobbelaar, it was one of Grobbelaar's first game, and he had a shocker. We got beat by Man City. That was 81-82. It was quite early in the season. It was one of
Grobbelaar's. Hopefully this memory is a better memory to replace that with, you know.
Just like you say,
the match. It was rare for us to get beat by anyone in them days. It was like, oh, we got beat, but it didn't mean anything at the end of the season. Really,
we got Max.
We still won the league.
We got Max. Yeah, we were about to say.
Just like you say from your, like you said from this match, the main thing would that Fabinho goal. Yeah, that was like probably like what hits on, as I say. That was definitely the best goal he ever scored, I'd say, for us.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, cracking goal. And also, yeah, I agreed as well, 100%. That was, even though, look, it's football, yada, 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 it's hard. You do sound kind of nitpicky. That was not a 3-1 game. That was a 4-0 or a 3-0. They didn't deserve to score. So, any win over them in that period of time was always huge.
Yeah, it always was. Yeah, I'm just saying hello to Marion. Big up.
Marion.
Good to see
and
you.
Max.
And Max as well. Big up, Max. Big up.
Man City were like not a club such as Chelsea that just had no history whatsoever. City did have a bit of history. It wasn't a lot, but they did have some good sides. Man City, like back in antique times, pre-Premiership days, and that. I'm talking about like before I was born and that, like around those years, like you know what I mean. City did have a few decent teams, like who could do something. They were in the FA Cup final once when I was a kid against Spurs. They lost, but City's captain was from Kirby, which isn't far from here, Kirby, Tommy Caton.
Okay. We are left with number 1. Now, where would we be without 1, Alisson Becker? So we move into that. Okay. At number 1. We have the 2-1 victory over. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? At number 1. We have the moment you saw a man go from being a carnivore to a vegan. I would like to say we have Manchester United beat down.
The thing with this one, as beautiful as it was, to beat them 7-0, it was the latest in a long line of spankings. whereas we'd gone through a spanking drought versus United in 13-14, and that's why I really enjoyed that one. I'm just putting that in there, like to say, you know, vice versa and all that palaver, like.
Yeah, the big reveal. I know. It wasn't much of a reveal. I know, Red Orange supporter. I'm sure that you guys all thought it was going to be somewhere in this list, if not number one. I think this is honestly most of our favorite game to reflect on for Premier League purposes. At least
in recent years, we've got a number of goals past Man United in recent years, and they haven't replied very often, have they?
Right. Yeah. I know they don't really get. They don't like getting. They act like it didn't happen. Most of them. But yes, March 5th, 2023, Liverpool versus Manchester United. This was a 7-0 game. Obviously, forever known as the 7-Up game to many. This game had so many moments. You need two hands to count them all on, and that's not just including all of the goals, by the way. Some great goals, some spirit-crushing events at Anfield on this day, which again had another manager we'd all like to see still at the wheel, Eric Seven Hag. And if it wasn't Salah turning, again, the butcher into a vegan, Cody's incredible little chipped, angled goal that was an assist from Salah, or I thought, which was like possibly one of the best parts about this game. In a year where we all knew.
I'm not usually a greedy person, but the only thing this game lacked, maybe a very marginally offside goal for them, like Ronaldo's in the 5-0 at Old Trafford. This lacked one of them just to give it that extra bit of sweetness.
Right. Sweetness is what it was.
We got 7 goals. I would have liked to have seen them have one that they thought was going to get given for about 4 minutes, and then it wasn't.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, I was just going to end by saying, in a game where I thought, look, we spoke on some of our favorites, some of the greats that played for this club. I thought we all knew that this particular player was going to be leaving at the end of the year. And he got somewhat of a cameo appearance in this, and he got in very late in the game. And it was a game where it was just fitting that Bobby got the 7th goal in this game. I thought that made it even that much more special, especially for a lot of us that have Bobby as the
way he did it,
the most beloved, one of the more beloved
the way
players.
It was beautiful. It was like Van to hire, wasn't it? Like De Gea, he was just like,
It just sealed everything. And it's funny enough that the same game, the first 25 to 30 minutes, we were kind of average, and it was a nip and tuck. Man United could have took the lead, 1 or 2 chances, and we'd be average. But after half an hour, we took control, and then Gakpo's first goal, you don't know how good a finish that is, first time. That goal. That was just after half an hour, and then after that, it was a wrap. And then, like you said, 12, I'll let you talk about your man Mo against that Argentinian in a minute. You can talk about that.
No, you do it. You take. Oh. I said my piece. I wanted this. I said in the private chat, all I wanted to do was just give a little bit of an intro. I was going to do my best Salah impersonation, or maybe even Thiago impersonation, and just serve it up, and then you guys could all step up and get the goals for us. So
the fact it took us nearly 45 minutes to score made it even better, because their fans were quite perky up until that point, and were quite vociferous, and even at 2-0 they were still having a go, but once the third went in, you just seen them all getting off, and it went quiet as.
Yeah, and Bruno just giving up, which was just lovely to see. Just gave up the ghost. He was getting slated. What am I going to do? Is anyone going to help me? Ten Hag, what are you going to do? I'm captain.
Right. That was
And the
just. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh no! Oh, sorry, 12. Oh, okay. No,
No,
sorry.
I was just agreeing with you. I'm in agreement with you.
No,
That's all. I'm just like, yeah, just picking up. Go ahead.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, we'll isolate this game, but yeah, it was just the clinicalness that day, man. I just again, like I said, even before the goal, after half an hour, we start to control the game. Then Gakpo, Sip, then Nunes getting his goals, and then Salah getting his customary goal against the Manx, the old toilet boys, and then Mr. C Senior, give the ball to Bobby, he will score. Better, and that just kind of just wrapped up things. And then Hendo, they were just it was just funny. They were just all over the place in shambles. Bruno crying, Rashford sulking again, doesn't know where to play. Does he shoot left or the right to the goal? He doesn't know what he's doing. The little Argentine and Salah. Oh my god, that, like you said, 12. We spoke about this offline. That little dip and turn to set up Cody and then finish. Oh my god, that was disgusting. That was a completely sit down and eat grass.
Yeah.
And you know what they say about the Egyptian king? He don't forget. He does not forget, does he? He doesn't forget. He's got a sharp memory of the Egyptian king. And when he comes up against you, yeah. It was just, again, it was just a day never to forget. And guys, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you all have, but watch the Bobby documentary on LFC TV.
Ooh,
very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
It's
I thought 5 of our 7 goals were beautifully crafted, and the fact that there was a couple of pinball situations like where it bounced to someone. The United fans were like, "Oh, well, lucky at Liverpool." It was like, "We've beat you 7-0, mate. We can't be that lucky to beat you 7-0. If it was 2-0 and we beat you, we might be lucky, but it's 7, mate."
Mm-hmm. Well, they've beaten us. In the beginning of the year 2-1, I think, right?
Yeah. No, yeah, they did, isn't it? Yeah. Mad, isn't it? Yeah, they beat us. Yeah. Old Trafford. Yeah.
I think that in the beginning of the year they beat us 2-1. So, and that was, I think, after we'd beaten them 4-0, 5-0. We'd really done them dirty. But that was something of a they were looked at as being a team that was that had some real promise up to that point. They were a team that was in form actually up to that point.
Yes.
Previously coming into that game, they were technically, quote unquote, the more informed team than Liverpool was. Yes, no, Newcastle's not in this list, by the way, Max. This is only top 6. We're only doing or big 6, excuse me. We're only doing the big 6. So
the one about this, I saw one of those documentaries a couple of days ago. I think it was just charting what's been going on there the last 10 years, and that's the game where they're interviewing somebody, not interviewing somebody, they're talking, and it's 62 minutes on the clock, and there's thousands of them walking out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it got into that stage, and that was just after Mo's goal.
Yeah, I think the first ones left when it was 3-0. When Gakpo scored the third, is when the first few left. As far as I know.
Well, Nolante said it right. I mean, I have the scores. I know it might be a little difficult to read. I can maybe bring it up to full screen here for you.
40, 43, 47,
yeah,
50,
it was like
60,
Cody's goal was the first one at the 43rd minute. So right before halftime was that goal, and I think I'm trying to think of Nunez's goal. I think Nunez's goal was it's at the 47th minute, but I think it was in the first half. I want to say.
I think it was. The only thing what I'll say about that one quickly is that in a couple of years' time, that'll be a kind of a good quiz question: who scored the last goal in the 7-0? Because a lot of people will forget that Bobby was still there at that point.
Yeah.
They'll have him have left maybe a year earlier. They'll definitely forget that he was still at the club. Another one like that, because we were just mentioning earlier on, I know it's a little bit off topic, but a lot of people actually forget you're a good friend, and Liverpool legend Daniel Sturridge. A lot of people
yeah.
forget that he was at the Champions League final under Klopp. He was in that team.
Yeah.
Most people forget when they see him. We see the footage from that. Sometimes I still go, "Oh bloody hell, Daniel Sturridge! I forgot he was still in the team then."
Yeah,
But,
no, he was getting those. He was getting good. He wasn't getting good minutes, but he was getting the same type of minutes like Bobby was towards the end of his run with us. That you're talking about.
I think imagine. Go ahead, Nate. Sorry.
No, sorry. No, all I was going to say, Brad, I think Bobby was getting more minutes than Daniel during those times because Daniel was just playing now and then. Bobby's usually regular, starting a few games or coming off the bench. So with Sturridge at that time, he was just kind of, unfortunately, kind of fading out a little bit of Klopp.
Why I'm saying that though, because Bobby was hurt quite a bit that season. The 7-0 game season, he was on the mend more than we'd normally seen Bobby be on the mend. That's what I meant by like his availability was a little bit on the wanting side. And that's probably but yeah, great game, absolutely boss game in this game. I have some honorable mentions. I'll bring this down for you. I do have some honorable mentions. The honorable mentions I have were the 4-0 win against Arsenal, November 20th, 2021. Again, 2017, 4-0 against Arsenal. I had the 4-1. That's actually already 4-1. I think that's the one. 2012 against Chelsea. I have that in there, but I don't think that Chelsea was like. I don't know. I don't think Chelsea was like that good that year. I don't know if they were really that good that year.
I think that game 12 they rested some of the players because they were. I think they were going for that's when they reached the Champions League final. So I think that game they wasn't too fussed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was. And because I think they ended up like I want to say because I remember I was double checking on it. Let me see if I can find it for us real quick. I thought they were in a spot where they were like. Let me see if I can open it up here. They were in. I thought they ended up like I think 6th place that year or something. All the same, I'll look it up. I'll double check for us. And then I also have the 3-0 win at Old Trafford, 2014, and I have also the 2015 Man City game where we won 4-1. But Man City wasn't that. They were obviously Man City, but they weren't Manchester City, if you know what I mean, that year. Those particular years, they weren't the best of the best those years. But yeah, let me double check for you guys and make sure I got it all right. Because I remember looking up and seeing like where they finished in the table. I don't think was that at least for Chelsea that year was that good for 2012.
No, I think they finish again. You're checking now. I think it's 6, but you're checking now anyway. 12. So you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Let's see. How I got to this one. I'm gonna go to this website. In a second.
Out of your top 10, the only change I would make to my top 10 out of your top 10 would be I would put the Torres Vidic game, which you have at 3rd. I would put that 2nd above the Fabinho City game. That's probably the only change I would make. I think probably because I think that Man United team, as much as we might not like said or whatever, was probably a lot better than us, and we were a bit closer to. But it was more because that iconic goal, really, more than anything else. Such an iconic goal. I would have put. That's the only thing I probably would have changed.
Mm-hmm.
The 7-0, obviously,
What
number
about?
one, definitely
Yeah,
number one.
yeah. Shoot, I'm trying to find the stupid stats. How about for you, Nolante? Is there anything that you think I got wrong or right? And in the chat, tell me too what you guys think. If you want to, if you want, I can do a quick recap of the teams or of the placings that I had on there. At number 10, I had Spurs 2013-2014 game, the March 30th, 2014 game. At number 9, I had December 15, 2013, the game against the Spurs. At number 8, I had the March 2nd, 2016 game against Manchester City. At number 7, I had the Arsenal game against 2014, February 8, 2014. Number 6, I had January 31st, 2024, the game against Chelsea, the 4-1 victory, the Connor Bradley coming out party. At number 5, I had the high fives, Manchester United 2021, 2022 campaign, October 24th, actually, it was in 2021, where we scored 5-0 at Old Trafford. And Salah had a hat trick in that game. At number 4, I had Arsenal 2018-2019 campaign, 5-1 victory at home, where Samba lessons were done by Bobby against Arsenal. At number 3, I had 2008-2009 versus Manchester United at Old Trafford. That was in March 14th of 2009. 2019, November 10th, 3-1 victory over City as my number 2. And as my number 1, I had March 5th, 2023, the 7-up game. 7-0 over them. Is there any games? Is there any game? Does one of these games you think get into that list? Maybe any of these honorable mentions. I also would have put the 3-0 game too. By the way, that we just had this year. I thought that was a beatdown too. By the way, I did think I was very close to.
Well, yeah, was it like kicking a wounded dog though? A little bit. Was it a little bit too? These guys are just terrible. Kind of.
Is that how you looked at it? Is that how you looked at it?
Well, it was kind of like what I was. One of the things I was going to maybe suggest. Like sometimes, it's weird. I always almost got a little bit more pleasure out of, like say beating Man U 3-0 when they were clearly better than us. You know, they were top of the league or something, and you know they'd be giving it the big one before the game because they'd be top of the league and we'd be fourth something. Don't get me wrong, I love beating them and being better than them, but there comes a point where, like, when you're beating a team 7-0, that it's like, yeah, these are just bad. You know, it's almost better to beat a team that's as good as you and beat them heavily, because it's like you're going toe to toe with someone that's good. So it's complicated. The relationship with United is complicated for me. The way we beat.
But that's you know why?
Yeah,
you know why
if
I
you
thought
a game
it was
like from the beginning to the end, it's not the same thing, is it? Like when the other team is actually in the game for a long period, but you end up spanking them, like in terms of scoreline. They are great games, aren't they?
Yeah, I suppose there's a little bit of satisfaction in listening to them all week. Sorry, just a little bit of satisfaction in listening to them all week, telling you how they're going to rip you up and beat your ass, and you do it.
Yeah,
that's what I love. I love that.
That's
and they aren't doing that anymore.
Yeah.
They don't have the chest, as they say, to do that anymore.
I'll let JK and I'll let JK and I'll let Nolante comment as well. And and before then, I'll even let Lee get his thought in. I was just going to say real quick that why I thought that 3-0 could arguably be in that top 10, possibly replace maybe one of those Spurs memories that are kind of like, obviously a little bit like not really on everyone's list, but it's because they knocked us out of the FA Cup the previous year, because that was also we also had to deal with the 0-0 that we had to deal with from them as well previously, because we had the 7-0 win, and then we had the 0-0, which was like we had like almost like 40 shots in that game or something ridiculous, but we just couldn't score for some reason. And but the FA Cup game that we had, and then we had the 2-2 draw in the Prem. That gave them a little bit of glimmer of hope. And they used that FA Cup game that they beat us in as like, oh, we're walking into this game without like any cares. We're not scared of you. And I was just like, we've got to smack them down to their spot. We gotta like backhand them into this spot. But that was just my perspective. That's why I thought it could be an arguably
I'm fairly certain that in all the years that we've played Chelsea since that 5-1 at Anfield in, I think it was 1995, we haven't beat them like that ever since. And they are a team that I'd enjoy giving them a good beating in this era if it was to happen once. Like all the other teams, we've done it to, but not them. All the other big six, or whoever you want to say, we've done it to, but not them in the modern era.
Mm-hmm. For Nolante, what was so anything that you think that I got wrong, right, or not right, but anything I got wrong, or you can say right. I don't mind the praise, but yeah, or anything that you would have like maybe moved up or down, or maybe even like taken out and replaced.
For that 12, I need the soundbite for that.
Yeah. Oh, wait, let me see if I can get it for you. Hold on.
Hold
on. Let me I love that one. Was good. Oh, I gotta bring that in. Yeah, I gotta make sure that I don't get bring it in here. Okay, I think I'm good with it being like that. Okay, this is double check here. All right. Yeah, I'll give you a sound bite. Oh no, I gotta find it. Oh no, I got it. Give me 1 second. But yeah, if there's anything in the chat, please do tell me if there's something that I got on there, because I know that maybe you're thinking this. 1 second, make sure. Hopefully you got to hear that. Could you hear it?
No. Yeah, like JK said, yeah. Yeah, I don't think anyone can.
Oh no. I'll make sure. I'll get the clip in there. But go ahead, Lamonte.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No problem. Sure. I think your selection's fine. I probably would have taken out the 4-0 Spurs Anfield. I would probably change that to either 2 games, but they're not on the honourable mentions list. And the 2 games I'm thinking of was the 5-1 Chelsea in 1997. That was Patrick Berger's debut when we destroyed them, and there was another 4-0 against Arsenal in 2000. Sorry, and Gerrard, Heskey, Owen all scored. So one of those 2 really.
I thought the last one by that margin was 97 with Berger twice. So there was one after that where we beat them by a sizable margin, yeah.
Oh no, Lee, just with Arsenal it's the 4-0, yeah. The Chelsea one, that's the last time we beat them marginal. with the burger one. Yeah, but there's another 4-0 against Arsenal in about 2000.
Years, nearly 30 young years since we've done that to Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to happen again anytime soon. As I said before,
Probably not.
Even when they were rubbish, they weren't a team we battered, like, even when they were.
Yeah.
Looking to see, I know that Max just asked if I had the Suarez 3-0. That was I put that I said 2015. It's actually 2014 actually. That was I had it in the honorable mention for the March 2014 one. I'm looking to see if anyone gave any suggestions. If you guys have any suggestions in the chat of a more memorable match, or maybe the matches I said as honorable mention being more memorable to you, you can always tell us. We are always all ears. We got about like 15 minutes left of the show, so I just want to make. And also, I wanted to give a quick transfer update, transfer story.
A couple of things Elor mentioned back and were quite interesting. You said you were starting.
That's what bring them up. Yeah, I started. So. But yeah, it was one of those things where I thought we would include this just so you know. I mean, like I know some of my answers or some of my suggestions or the ones I put up there weren't everyone's answers, but I mean, like you know how Steve Harvey says.
Just trying to give the safest answer you can. You know, well, that ain't up here.
Oh, I know it's up there.
Raven.
For those of you that wanted it and needed it, we all need a little gravy every once in a while. So just want to make sure you heard that one. Lazy gravy.
Lazy gravy, yeah. Gravy.
Yeah. Safe answers. Just safe answers. So yeah. Hope that you enjoyed the list. JK, did you have any particular game that you thought was out of spot or out of place, or wanted to say, oh, you thought maybe should, be this or that?
My favorite one was the 7-0, of course, and then I like the Arsenal 5-1 with Brendan Rodgers. That game, I think that game was like sort of special. The timing of it, everything, it was like buzzing, So for me, that's probably one of my favorite ever Liverpool games.
The dominance over United.
What number was that?
It's been one of the best things about it, like, wasn't
it? Say that again, Lee.
The dominance over United in the Klopp era was one of the best things about it. You know what? All those 27 years where they didn't win the league, we had 30, they had 27. But in all that time, they were always a bastard of an opponent. We never tonked them. It just didn't.
Well, that's why that game, I think,
we got beat often as well. Like in them years, their ground was a twat to go to and win.
Yeah,
really won there, like.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Because that's why, like, when I hear people talk about the games that we've played so far and how they're like, oh, well, you didn't play anyone, and then when we say, well, we played Manchester United, and albeit Manchester United isn't in great form currently, they have some good players. Don't get it twisted, but I mean, they're not in great form currently.
Yeah, I remember Bobby Charlton saying, said he always loved playing at Anfield. He said, but we never got nothing at Goodison. He said that because he used to lose a lot at Goodison, like, but not so much as Anfield in the past, like, you know what I mean, in Bobby Charlton's day.
Well, I was just going to say that they said we hadn't played anyone, but I kept emphasizing whenever we play Everton, Everton showed us last year, that game's not a walkover, no matter what. No matter where they are in the table, it's always going to be a fight for the most part. And it doesn't matter where Manchester United is in the table, that game is always going to be a hard fought game. And I think that's why when you hear we haven't played anyone, I'm like, yeah, we've played some really good teams, and we had to go against some teams that easily could have been split, those banana peel games for us.
The recent dominance over United is unprecedented in my lifetime, and I'm 51.
Yeah.
So what we've had in the Klopp era, and hopefully it goes on with slot beyond the 0-3 at Old Trafford.
Absolutely.
I've never seen nothing like it where we've won so many games against them.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Stanley was.
There you go. Yeah, that clip is going to be used quite a bit, I bet. Anyway, I wanted to get in some quick transfer news. I guess because I know that we all got in our picks. I gave you guys opportunity to put in some of your answers if you thought there was something that you wanted to see about or see in the list. But I hope that you're happy with what we came up with, or at least I came up with, and what the guys at least shared their adaptation towards. And I also wanted to say this. So there was a report out there that has it goes, I don't know if it goes exactly against what Hyla was saying, because I know he was talking about this one. It says James Pierce has also given an update on Liverpool's transfer plans. Liverpool are not pursuing a number 6 anymore due to the form of Gravenberch this season. It doesn't really, I don't know. James Pierce has definitely has like a little bit of a interesting relationship with Liverpool. He obviously had a very tattered relationship with Klopp, but there was a lot of different things that got reported on recently, and that was this. This is a report that I just saw that was very interesting. There was a new report in Spain that claims Liverpool would accept a swap offer in January for Trent Alexander-Arnold and Tchouaméni. And that's been a report that has been offered out in Spain. Now, whether I believe that's true or not, yeah, I don't. Let me be honest with you. You don't really see many swap deals. You certainly don't see that many swap deals that involve like players of that level being the ones that agree to all the terms and the likes, because they've got to agree to it as well. But I know I did put a hypothetical out there for you guys originally when Tchouaméni was put out there as being a name that Real Madrid are looking to move on from, or maybe a move. I don't personally, this is my own personal perspective. I'd love to hear the chat and also the panels real quick, because we have a little bit under 10 minutes to go. Whenever I hear that Real Madrid is willing to move off of a player, especially a younger player, that gives me pause. As in, I'm not exactly warm to the thought of thinking that, this player is someone that Real Madrid wants to move away from or move on from. Why so? They don't mind spending the money, obviously, or paying the wages. They don't mind having the players sit on their bench, rather if they have a big roster, a big bench full of talented players that are making good money. They don't care about those settings. So why would you want to give up on one of the younger players that you spent a bag for? Like, they dropped a bag for this guy. Any thoughts? We'll go Lee, JK, Nalante, and then we'll end with the Irishman. Lee, do you have any thoughts on that one?
Run it by us again, sorry.
Okay, all right. How about I let JK or JK, you with us?
Sorry, I'd just been the toilet.
No worries. I'll do a reverse order. I'll do Irishman. If you could start us off with the question with what I just said. What are your thoughts on it? Basically, and then you can get the gist of what we're talking about.
Yeah, a swap deal for Chimeni and Trent in January. So 100% like what you said. A guy who we missed out on, in inverted commas, a guy that, look, pretty much every club who had an interest in him and wasn't Real Madrid, inverted commas, missed out on Chimeni. I don't know if we were there right till the end of the deal trying to get him to sign for us, throwing bids at him. I think we may have registered a strong interest in all of that, but we moved on. So back then, yeah, a player we were all clearly interested in. Looked excellent, looked phenomenal at Madrid, looked like the real deal, looked like, yeah, that's why we wanted him. He's won all the stuff. Now there seems to be some things happening. And like you said, all of a sudden there's red flags popping up all over the place. So right now, no, I wouldn't be prepared to do that unless the club had looked at what the issue was and went, well, that won't be an issue here. That's something we can do. Like, the issue that he's having is purely a Madrid-based issue, whether it's with someone at the club or whatever. There's no problem with his attitude. You have a direct line to the player because all you have to do is sit down with Ibu and say, what's the crack with this Chimeni lad? What's his attitude like? You know him. You've known him for probably 10 years now. You're in the France squad with him. What's his head like? What's going on? We have a direct line to what's going on there. We will know all the ins and outs. No doubt about it. We will know exactly what's going on there. So if it's a deal that we think will be positive for the club because he passes the no dickheads policy, like I said, he's fallen out with a guy who works for Madrid, right? The CEO or the chief exec or something like that. Or they've said to him, we've spent a lot of money. We need now to bring in some money. So they've manufactured a little falling out. That would be a very Madrid thing to do. So, but like you say, man, there's red flags popping up. Like when a club like them is prepared to let go of a guy that they put down big money on, big money on. So that needs proper vetting. But player-wise, quality-wise, forget all. If you're telling me the player that 100%, get him in the door. If it's an opportunity
I am
that we can
at the big name signings, and this would definitely qualify as one. I've been disappointed by other big name signings, but I see no reason why we shouldn't try Chouameni.
Yeah. Okay. Nolante. I have a little report too. I have a report. I don't think it's the report that Hyler gave earlier, but it is an interesting report from Football Insider to read real quick too, to kind of give you some insight on the transfer window. Go ahead, Nolante.
Yeah, just echoes that, to Chimeni, Trent. As much as I have some doubts with Trent, but no, we shouldn't be doing it. We should be keeping him and then adding additional thing. And again, and like I think Lee said, I think you said as well, talk about Jane Pierce. Yeah, of course. These blogsters are probably going to report whether it's accurate or not. I mean, I don't think so. Just like old K-Mac made the visionary dream that Endo was going to Inter Milan. Interesting. See what that one works out, literally. But nah, I wouldn't take it. Though it's tempting, but no, I wouldn't.
I see JK is on mute. Oh, he's off. Okay, go ahead. What are your thoughts, JK?
Like the whole Trent sort of soap opera is it's getting a bit boring now. If he's going, he's going. Like, we can't do nothing about it. But if we're gonna get a player in, I wouldn't mind that guy. Because then I'd rather have Trent stay in 100%. But for me, we should be going for this guy anyway in January. You know, imagine him and Gravenberch with McAllister in front of him.
Oh,
You know?
So that's
Like, come on, man. That's how you can win a solid. That's a solid midfielder. So,
but I mean, that James Pierce report weird though, because I mean, I know that this is when the talks have been apparently that I've heard reports about Zubimendi. I've heard obviously this Tuchemani's talk. I mean, those are two high-profile players, and they're the two players that have been routinely and consistently gone into the actual journals as targets. I'll read this real quick because I know we're at the 2-hour mark here. Earlier this month, a report from Football Insider claimed Slot intends to block, and I repeat, block, Alexander-Arnold and 2 other players from leaving in January. The report revealed Arne Slot is happy with the composition of his squad and wants to improve it in the new year rather than weaken it. Liverpool are not considering allowing forward Federico Chiesa to leave the club in the mid-season window. He has been linked with a loan move to Serie A club Como, but will be kept on at Anfield until the end of the season at least. Trent Alexander-Arnold who is attracting strong interest from Real Madrid, has been linked with a January exit. He is out of contract at the end of the season, and this new year could present the final opportunity for Liverpool to cash in, but they want to keep him at the club until the 24-25 campaign ends. Japan international midfielder, speaking of K-Mac, Wataru Endo, has also been linked with a potential exit. All 3 are set to have moves blocked, and I repeat, blocked in January, as Slot sets his sights on success in his first season in the Anfield hot seat.
Yeah, we'd be kind of Harry to let Endo go, wouldn't we? And similarly with Trent in January, like if we're trying to win the league.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to make sure. That's all I wanted to make sure that we had spoken on. Slot block. Yeah, the slot block. That's what I said. It's the slot block.
Good. Well done, Slot.
Slot has the lock on the block. There you go.
Lotto wins the lotto.
There you go. Slot wins the lotto. That's going too.
I would agree.
I wouldn't go as far as say that, Max. I wouldn't. Yeah,
I'd actually. Well, no, that was. I mean, just in terms of kind of a Rorschach test kind of thing. The first thing you think of, that to me goes, you ain't selling my 3 players if you ain't bringing somebody in. That was the first thing I thought. It's like, but it's probably a little bit of that. It's never 100% anything, so it's probably a little bit of that. But we all know Endo doesn't want to leave. Could cover players like that. So, but yeah, no, I know what Max is getting at. That to me does sound like, my instant reaction was like, oh well, we're not going to be bringing anybody in then because
I hope the chance of medals motivates.
We wouldn't sell. But sorry, no, just we wouldn't sell those 3 players if we weren't going to bring in replacements. That wouldn't happen. We wouldn't just gut the squad and go, no, okay, sorry, no, we sold them 3 and that's it, we're done.
Right.
Nobody's coming in. So if they did leave, then people would obviously be coming in. That's the only way that would happen.
Yep. Your comment about Endo is spot on too, by the way. Endo loves this team, loves the opportunity, loves being a Red. And some of the things that Endo, shout out to our number 3. Some of the things that Endo's doing right now are not only because he's the captain of Japan, but also because he's at one of the biggest clubs in the world, and this platform that he has as being a representative of Japan, of even the Asian community, but especially of Japan, he's not using it as an opportunity to be a teacher, be a sensei to a lot of those out in those interested in possibly finding a pathway into some of these into these leagues. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of good Asian players out there, but we don't get to see a good number of them Asia's a big country, by the way, big continent, excuse me. So
seen quite a few last night.
You would think that you would have more players. You think you have more players that you get to see represented in the top 5 leagues, but we just don't. And there's been a couple of articles I've seen about how he's making efforts to teach the game and teach it from the perspective of how it works in his experience, whether it's in Belgium, whether it was in Germany, and now in England. He's trying to get other players, younger players, to understand that. That's pretty cool. I think he's a great person.
Yeah, but the football bit.
The football bit, yeah. What about
That's also important. That's also important. I know it's great that he's an ambassador for the game, but he's also got to do it on the pitch. I've no doubt the fact that like we said, he will never ever play that. He's never going to play for a bigger club than what he's at right now. So he'll never have a bigger opportunity to use his profile. But they just look north of the border for a start. Right now, I think Celtic have 3 Japanese players there. They've always had a great. They've managed to get that far, but like you say, there's only ever kind of 1 or 2 just make it into. We've Son. There's but it kind of stops. It tends to stop around France, maybe, or something. They never quite make it to the Premier League.
Right. The league.
Son has to be by far though the best Asian player ever.
Yeah, there was a lot of Asian players playing in the French league last night. I noticed not just like East Asian players, but like just there's a lot of Asian players in the French teams. I noticed more than in the Premier League. I would say anyway. I noticed that much. And there are a lot of good players. Like I was watching Minamino. Yeah, Minamino was one of them. Minamino for Monaco. He played really well in this game for Monaco. I was watching last night. Yeah, I was made up to see him. He was all over the place, like darting in and out. Yeah, Monaco.
There was a little bit of talk, just quick. I know you're going, but there was when Ange left Celtic. He had 2 great Japanese players there. They're still there. Hatate, Ito. And there's another guy. And there was lots of rumors that he was going to bring a couple of them. The usual. He's going to bring his best players with him. But I was disappointed. Maybe like Nakamura at Celtic, whatever it is they have. Whatever, like the Japanese seem to like Glasgow. Who would have thunk it? They seem to settle well there and play well there. But it's a good production line. That's what helps. They can look and Nakamura was there. This guy was there. This guy was there. But yeah, it's just that jump up, isn't it? Just that jump up to the Premier League. And Son, I got a little bit giddy there earlier on because I heard he was free in the summer, but apparently Spurs have an option, sign up for a year. One of the players talking about Asian players, I think he would have been the most perfect Klopp player of all time if we'd signed Sonny. Yeah, he would have just been so good for us. Better than Spurs.
I think it's one.
Yeah. No, don't you think he's better than Spurs? I think Son is better than Spurs. He should have left for maybe 3, 4, probably too loyal, too nice. He could have played for a Madrid or a Bayern. He'd have a couple of big trophies under his belt now. He's going to
this is KJ's put a comment in there. Edwards targeted Son for Rodgers actually that summer. Yeah. The deal was supposed to be done. Yeah, says remember we were actually in for him. But he chose Spurs over us because he didn't think he'd get enough game time with us. And I mean, that's that was at the moment that could have been that it would have been. I think that again, it goes to how coaches and how a team generates playing time for their players that will be that big, that will be a factor in the attraction level of going to that club. And at that time, unless you were, at least for Brendan, unless you were like his guy, chances are you were not going to get playing time. And if you did get playing time, it didn't necessarily mean you were going to get playing time in the role that you wanted to do. or the role that you're comfortable doing.
If we'd bought Son, and like the boys are saying there, it was only like 4 months later, 3 months later, Brendan got the boot. Klopp comes in. He loves Son.
Mm-hmm.
We probably never would have bought a Mane. But at the same, could you imagine a left wing, right wing of Son and Salah? Oh my God! Oh,
Stop.
Sharing the goal with each other for Liverpool. Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, last night was the first time I'd seen Minamino like playing for Monaco because they had all the French highlights on telly and watched them all. I noticed Josh King, who used to be the Bournemouth striker when Callum Wilson was still at Bournemouth.
Norwegian.
I can't remember what bloody team it was he was playing for though, but he scored.
Norwegian. Josh King.
Yeah, Josh King. Minamino, Minamino didn't score, but he was dead good. He was instrumental in the victory, let's say.
He's still at Monaco, right?
Monaco, yeah.
He's doing well. Man.
Yeah, I like Taki. I mean, he shows it for us, he could score goals and that.
Cool. Okay.
I was gonna say the only issue. I'll chime this in real quick, Brian.
No, I was just saying to your private message. That's cool. I get it.
Oh, okay. The only issue with Taki was that, and I don't know if it's an issue or not. It depends on your perspective. But I think if Taki knew English better and he was able to interact and converse with his teammates a little bit more, and kind of shed the shyness a little bit, I think Taki would have possibly been here longer than he was.
That's probably why the guys up in Glasgow are doing so well, because there's 2 other Japanese guys there.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine being the only Japanese guy in a room? You've just come to a new country.
Yeah. Walking around. I mean, you got to walk around with an interpreter everywhere you go, because you're not.
And I was speaking to someone yesterday, and she's a speech therapist, she's a psychologist, speech therapist, and she said that basically, if you're Spanish and you're Italian, if you're French or you're German, it's different. If you're Spanish or Italian, learning English is incredibly difficult. Yeah. Like, it's why most of the Latin languages, they give up so quickly.
Yeah.
Because they just can't get it. Whereas to a German, like for someone who speaks English, learning French it's kind of easy enough because a lot of sounds and words are very similar.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of the Spanish guys,
French, those languages are very it's easier to learn. Yeah.
But there was that's what she was saying. Like most, like when you look at people who learn new languages, like the highest percentage of people who give up learning a language are Spanish people and Italian people trying to learn English. They give up way quicker. Now, obviously, you have the Asian languages, which is like learning, like writing Chinese, Japanese. That's a whole other thing altogether.
Yeah,
but in terms of European, it's really
difficult. The sentence structure is different in Japanese.
Oh, the whole thing is way out of whack. It's like learning hieroglyphics.
The way that you read, the way that depending on what you're actually even reading, because some is like up and down, some of it's like the subject predicate, but the predicate comes first and then the subject, and you're used to saying the opposite in English, so it's it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy.
It goes towards somebody explaining why the Italians, that's only one of the minor things, but I didn't realize that about Spanish people. I'd never realized that. But she was saying to me, like people who speak Spanish find English really difficult to learn, because a lot of the problems with English is you can have 2 or 3 different words that mean the same thing, or mean different things. You have the same word, it means 4 different things and all that, but they just give up real quick because they can get by with each other. So that's one of the issues. Yeah, if they don't try real hard, they'll never learn. Whereas some people can go to another country and just kind of pick it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily a big Brendan Rodgers fan, so I agree with you, Bernie, on that one.
Oh no, I was terrified it got to a point I was terrified every time Brendan opened his mouth. I was like, please don't embarrass the club again. Please don't say something really embarrassing. Because you just keep saying really fucking embarrassing shit. After about 2 years, like, dude, stop talking. Please just get laryngitis or something. But it was just, every time he did a press conference, there'd be something else. Fans would be laughing at us. Noel Gallagher doing gigs, laughing, making up. I mean, that was a low point for me. You know, I don't take slander. I can water off a duck's back. These guys, man, Brendan made us such an easy target for, like, trolling. He just didn't have the gravitas to carry on with what he was saying. Just, he couldn't do it, man. I think he got lucky with Suarez and Sturridge as well, to be honest with you. I think he got a bit lucky with that.
Oh, he got handed that. Yeah, he got, like,
he did, but no, he did. Don't get me wrong, but to be honest, Sturridge, he didn't get lucky because he's always rated Sturridge. So Sturridge is a play he wanted. So I will give him that.
But he also did one. I mean, like, but he's got to hold on. He's got to hold the Benteke's and.
Like, no, 100%. No, 100%. Again,
I remember. I was gonna say real quick, Milante. I remember one preseason when Brendan was hyping up John Joe Shelby, and I was like this was his year, and he was going to be the breakout star for us, and I was like, what? Okay. And he was featuring him in a lot of different ways to, like, try to give him that opportunity to be that guy. I was like, geez, okay. That's where we're at right now, John Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think we were doing a show maybe 2 days ago, and I was talking about to Lee, a couple of managers that just didn't get it. Roy Hodgson being, like, the famous one of, like, saying things in an interview that you just don't say as a Liverpool manager. He was the peak of that. Brendan but when Brendan always, his most thing was trying to be too clever. And when he left Stevie and a couple of other players on the bench for a Champions League game at the Bernabeu, trying to be too clever, dust your hands, mate, you're gone. You're finished. You've totally misunderstood Liverpool. It doesn't matter if we've got Man City in 2 days' time and everybody's knackered. It's Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. We're Liverpool. It's the Champions League. You go full pelt. And he told, no. You could see Stevie on the bench. Do you remember people? Like, it was one of those nights where the camera just kept. There was a guy, the director told, go point your camera directly at Steven Gerrard all the time. And they just kept cutting to Gerrard on the bench, looking at Rodgers, going, "What the hell
are you doing? Yeah,
what you do know here? Who I am, right? This is Madrid, right?" And he's out there getting all clever. Done, mate. You're done. You don't get the club. You just don't get it.
But that's the thing about it for me, for Rodgers. He was just like, it wasn't even about getting the club. It was about the club getting him in his mind. And, you know, like, it was about, like, I think he was very, like, staunch, at least in my opinion he was, because what he
told he was
I don't like right what he did. I don't like what he did to, I was gonna say, I don't like what he did to Sterling. I thought he's one of the reasons why Sterling chose to leave the club. He's a factor in why he chose to leave the club. I'm not saying he's the sole reason, but I'm saying he's one of the factors why he chose to leave the club, I think, personally. But at the very same time, you know, playing him out of position, you know, making him, like, you know, being saying some of the comments that he said at him and you know, undermining Sterling. I was just like, man, he's one of the few bright stars that we had on this team, and yet you are, like, making this guy not want to be here.
Yeah, do you remember the documentary, the famous scene in the documentary where he grabs him aside and says, "If I see you dancing on the touchline like that again, I'll take you off." Do you remember that Being Liverpool we were talking about the other day? That awful, like, behind the scenes documentary. It was like he went out of his way to make a point of, I'm going to stand up to Raheem Sterling, this wonder kid, and do it on camera. Yeah. It was, that to me was like, The second
You
I
don't
saw that,
trust.
I thought, no, this is not the manager we need.
No,
This is not the manager we need.
not
I
unless.
haven't heard of it till you mentioned it lately. Like I don't remember seeing like Rogers. Yeah, did his press. I remember his press conferences when he was there, but I don't remember a lot else about the man. Like
Yeah,
like,
it was a practice game.
we
It
had
was a practice
fumbled
game
and
in
Yeah, it's
Kirby,
best.
and
Mhm.
he was doing a few
Mhm.
tricks. He was like on the touchline in practice game, and like you said, he danced past a couple of players, a few, trying to do a few step overs, tricks and flicks, whatever, and he stops the game basically and calls Sterling over. And basically, if I see you dancing on the touchline like that in a real game, you'll be straight off. To paraphrase, but he definitely said the words "dancing on the touchline." So it was if I'm going to show this kid now, you don't use skill, you pass one touch, yada yada. But like the look on Sterling's face, because he knows there's cameras, not because he's like, "How dare you call me out?" It's because like he knows there's a freaking camera pointed at, and this is one of the first times they'd ever done that. That being Liverpool thing is years ago. This is before any of the big Amazon doc.
I still haven't heard of it
Yeah,
myself.
and you can see Sterling just
Yeah,
looking
it's
at
on
him.
there.
Going,
Yeah.
yeah, in an instant, just going, "F this guy." Call me in afterwards. Have a word with me after training. Why are you pulling me up in front of? I'm like 16 years old, dude.
I knew about
know,
like Klopp one that they were making
bullshit.
Klopp. You told me that it went tits up or something like they made it the Klopp one, but it hasn't seen the light of day as of yet.
It's still scheduled to come out at some point. Yeah, they
Which
can
is
get
annoying.
bought by the company. But like I
Yeah.
said, when it comes out, they should basically just leave it for 2 more years because football moves so fast, and it'll be more
Yeah.
like a historical piece at this stage.
Time capsule.
Because they've left it too late for it to be current. It's supposed to be. They're supposed to be bang up to date. Like they showed them after the
It
season
means
end.
bugger all
So it's
now.
the previous year. Yeah. It's lost its edge. It's lost its this guy's still there and he's still there, So a lot of the people will have moved on now. So that was the whole point of them. They're supposed to be like, this is what happened last season. Now, yeah, it's
stored the tapes in a place that like diminishes them so they can't ever be seen.
Yeah, give it 5 years. Put one of those kind of old timey kind of filters on it, and make a Ken Burns type documentary. Back in the old timey times, or something like that. Like, but it's lost its kind of Klopp is still here, and this is what happened, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't care for
Curtis Jones.
Yeah, scored a great goal. Back heel on the back heel goal. Nice goal.
Yeah, a good idea.
Oh yeah. What's
Yeah.
going on in the old? What's going on in the old England match, Ireland game?
3-0. 3-0 in
Yeah,
England.
he's had a great game, to be fair. I've been watching it on and off, man, and the back heel goal was nice. Just the confidence using out of Curtis.
It is good to see. It is good to see
Yeah.
the confidence.
Oh, he started as well.
Started, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of
quite injuries in it.
I'm not trying to take away from the fact that 9 players had to
Yeah, what happened with
Absolutely.
Harry Kane? What's this whole Harry Kane drama? I saw the fringes of some. I saw him like, did he something about Harry Kane getting dropped from the squad or pulling out of the squad, causing some drama? Or
yeah, I seen that. I seen it on the back of the papers today. The Metro.
Yeah.
It says Harry was disappointed at people pulling out or something. And did I see it? No, I never seen him saying it, but I read it. He said
he said it. He said it in the interview. Basically, he called them out, saying without going too deep, he just said it's like all these players dropping out. It's like your country comes first over your club.
Yeah.
Well, Carsley said that, did he?
No, Harry Kane. He said
Harry
that.
Kane. I read it on the back of the paper earlier.
But then he dropped out, right?
Seen it in the video, like.
But then did Kane not drop out? No.
No, he's playing. He's come on.
Right.
Okay, he always plays. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, he came on. Okay, so who dropped out? Who's he throwing under the bus then? Who's he talking about?
Oh, just
I hope. not strength. I hope he throws Foden under the bloody bus.
Yeah, just basically everyone that's dropped. Just he didn't name names, but everyone that's dropped out because
Yeah.
they said 9-10 players have dropped out, and obviously he
Right.
said that's really disappointing. Yeah,
It was
like to drop out, you know.
I was going to say, speaking of dropping out, we're going to be ending in a few minutes here, but I wanted to also bring up a shout for someone that I didn't expect to see. I saw this report real quick, and I did want to say, because we had mentioned it earlier, I remember when we were doing the whole international wheel that we were doing, and there was some shouts about U.S. men's national team and about the players and the likes, especially when it came to strikers, and saying how we didn't have any strikers or at least any of the strikers interest anyone. Well, apparently one of our strikers interests Liverpool, and
I can't believe you didn't lead with that. The amount of energy that came off you with that one was fantastic. Yeah. For all these
Canada's
people
got a
out there
shout
saying you don't like that, here
yeah.
you go.
Canada got a shout too. David is a player that is being looked at apparently, but the other player that is being looked at right now is Ricardo Pepi, and that is
I thought you were going to say Balogun. Okay.
No,
That's interesting. Okay.
It's very interesting. I saw this on all due respect and shout out to Redman TV. I saw it on Redman TV. They did a piece on this about those two individuals. The thumbnail had those two players on the thumbnail. I was like, wow. Okay.
Skill.
I was like, okay, interesting. And they got into it. I know that some might not be interested. Look, I'll be honest, even as a U.S. men's national team supporter and a Pepe supporter, he's doing very well with PSV. That's why right now.
PSV, okay.
And
no, that's
they're
okay.
doing well in the Champions League right now. He's got some goals with them. He's doing well in Champions League. He's doing well in the league as well. He's their main.
A slot would know him then, obviously, right? Was he there last year?
Yeah.
So he's
I had to double check on that if he was there last year. Let me double check on that for you because I don't know if he was there, but I definitely know that Slot keeps an eye on everything when it comes to
Well, I'm just saying it would make it makes more sense that he's already at a European team. It's not like we're interested in some guy from the Colorado Rapids or something. That's a little bit more tenuous. But
yeah, I guess you say. I mean, you know why it's funny because his claim to fame was from Dallas. That's where he got his start, actually.
Is it Pepe or Beppe? Sorry, is it Pepe or Beppe? Pepe. Mm-hmm. Does he have is he half Portuguese or Mexican?
He's got Mexican. He's a Mexican American.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I believe that he could have possibly. I think he possibly could have played for Mexico too. At one point, he chose to play for us. He moved there in July of 2023. Now, I will say Pepe did have problems. I wouldn't say problems, but he didn't really do well. I mean, I don't know if JK could talk about this or not, but he didn't do very well when he made the big move. He did well in MLS, and then he started playing well for U.S. men's national team. He actually had a great game against Mexico, to tell you the truth. And then he got all this acclaim and fame, and then he made from FC Dallas. He moved to Augsburg. Augsburg,
yeah, close enough.
And he went to there and he didn't do that great. He went there for a good amount of money, a good chunk of change, just close to 14 million pounds. So but that's a good amount of change if you're doing it in dollars. And then
For Augsburg, that's a huge. That's
a lot of money.
A huge amount of money for it.
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
a lot of money.
spending 140. Augsburg is a tiny team.
Yep.
That's a huge. I can't believe they ever spent 14 million on a player. That's crazy.
Yep. And then he ended up going to PSV for like £8 million around there, something like that, like 7.6, 7.8, something like that. But the only reason I bring it up is because it's very interesting. I actually do rate Balogun, but I also know that Pepe has been was the choice for us as our striker. We thought that we might have found our striker. Then obviously, like I said, he had a little bit of a dip in his progression, but he's found himself once again in Holland. With his form and with his confidence, it's one of those cases that U.S. men's national team have a game today. The only reason I'm bringing it up, again, we're going to be ending here soon, but we have a game against Jamaica. We're going to Kingston Town, right? And what's that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Jamaica, why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? There are some excuses not to go to Jamaica, but all right. Anyway, if you're playing football at least, because some of the pitches in some of the other countries, in our region are not desirable pitches to go to.
Most of the money for building pitches went into that Jack Warner pot. Jack, what's his name?
Yeah. And on top of that, the pitches here or the pitches overseas at least, for Jamaica, there's more emphasis in their track and field than it is in their soccer.
It was 100%.
Yeah, only got so much money to spend on shit, dude. Come on.
Yeah. All right.
You guys. No. I mean, it's like when you compare anybody's facilities to the US,
right?
It's the money you guys can spend on unis and so, like there's only the top end clubs in Europe can compete, really.
By the way, shout out to Quasi Bowl TV in the house. Big up the Quaz. You'll definitely have to watch this one back, Quasi.
I was trying to say the polite version of what Quasi has just said. Yeah. I was trying to say the polite version.
Yes, Quasi. Tete.
Oh man. Big up.
Well, that's what I always used to say to my nephew.
This guy's living up in San Francisco talking about spoiled.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I always used to say to my nephew when he used to complain about the back garden, and I was saying to him, look, man, and this is only recent. Look, you boys are playing on good pitches, right? That's what you're giving out. If you can control a ball on a piece of shit, crappy back garden, bumpy lumps and all that, it will be a hell of a lot easier when you go on those pitches.
It'll be a great player.
Yeah. So you go and control a ball on crappy, dirty little pieces of ground, and then when you go out every weekend on these nice little pitches that you play on now, your AstroTurfs and all that, it'll be like playing on a carpet. So you learn to do it that way. That's good. But yeah, these kids nowadays, man, some of them, they're growing up the age of 12. They're playing on pitches that we could only dream of playing on.
Yeah, no, I got you. You know what? One of the reasons
in England,
one of the reasons why we missed out in the World Cup was because of the pitch that we played on was absolutely.
But you see those? Sorry, you see the pitches of Kirby now. I mean, grass doesn't grow like that in England, man. I don't know what they're feeding that shit. That's what's not like. There's people like living 10 yards away or 100 yards away from the old ground. They're like, their grass looks like shit in their front gardens, and they're doing a decent job, and they're looking
right. But they have they got the Miracle Pro, like they got the Miracle Pro going on their lawns.
Yeah, some guy cutting it for 8 hours a day.
Well, has that? I don't know if that game has gone final. Let me double check for you.
Yep, finished.
It's gone final. Okay.
Yeah,
I know on this side of the pond, Venezuela is down 1-0 to Brazil. I know the France game has gone final.
Ireland winning too. Ireland have beaten Finland, I believe, 1-0.
Indeed. Congratulations, Brian.
I was surprised to see that France went 0-0 against Israel. That was interesting.
Embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand that one. I wanted to double check and make sure it wasn't like, maybe it was like, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. But anyway, Paraguay is playing Argentina later on. They'll be playing about 2 hours from now. 3-0 is the final of the England game. I know that Italy has beaten Belgium 1-0 today as well. That game's gone final. We also have a game between Ecuador and Bolivia at 5, or it's 5 o'clock my time at least. So that's in about 2.5 hours. And then Jamaica hosting USA. Gonna be a big game. It's Poch is gonna be using this. I know that it's weird because since we have the World Cup coming to America, Poch is gonna be using this as a preseason, if you want to call it that, for us. We unfortunately did not have Poch at the helm for the Copa America, which was going to be a true preseason for us, as being a determinant on how we can play in these tournaments. We've always done pretty well in tournaments, but we didn't do well in the Copa. So that's why Triple G got the axe. Now why we are with the Poch. And it's going to be interesting going into this game. So I thought about doing maybe a watch along, but we'll see. It'll be a fun thing. Maybe you can get to see. Maybe you guys could tune in to not only to, if we do watch along, but also to tune in to the game and maybe see one of our future strikers. Who knows?
Can I just do a funny thing?
Do it.
Right. Ireland beat Finland tonight, 1-0. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm.
In the 58 minute of that game, O'Shaughnessy came on as a sub. Which team do you think O'Shaughnessy plays for? A reminder, the two teams in the question are Ireland and Finland. And the player in question is O'Shaughnessy. No answers? Okay. Obviously, it's Finland. So there's a guy whose surname is O'Shaughnessy playing for Finland up against Ireland. Shamrock Rovers? No, Bernie.
How did he get the papers to play for Finland?
I mean, you got Uluin, Heiskanen, Alo, Karanen, Antmanen, Picarnan, Valkyrie, and O'Shaughnessy just sitting there in the corner going, yeah, I'm finished. Don't ask me any more questions. Don't ask me any other questions. I'm finished. I qualify.
Did Finland give you a call?
O'Shaughnessy, to be honest, Nalante, O'Shaughnessy is even too Irish a name to be on the Ireland team. Like, that's kind of like, O'Shaughnessy is like what you hear, like what they call detectives in like 1970s shows. Like, O'Shaughnessy, just to hammer home the fact that he's Irish. I've never met anyone called O'Shaughnessy. That's like a comedy Irish name.
There was a girl in my junior school class called Paula O'Shaughnessy. Like when I was up till the age of 11. Oh, she must have went to my high school as well. I got kicked out of that one though soon after I started there. So
was her dad from Finland?
No, I don't know.
There was one other thing I wanted to say too. That is bonkers. That is the matchup today. By the way, that's the two coaches that are going to be coaching today.
Oh yeah, McLaren went to Jamaica. I forgot that. Yeah. Jamaica.
And using learning the Yardie lingo.
He was even doing patois.
Yeah. Jesus Christ,
he was trying to speak it at least. It was pretty funny.
So
Oh,
Manor said,
Steve,
I
Manor
was
said the
no,
like,
game, gotta win the game.
they
no.
took it. They took it for what it was. They
But
were
I
like,
thought you were joking because he has a famous that interview when he took over AZ Alkmaar, I think it was in Holland, and
huh?
in his second or third press conference, he starts speaking English with a fake Dutch accent for some reason.
Oh
And it's
gosh,
just one of the
no,
funniest
really?
things. And it's just like,
Maybe that's
yeah,
the
that's
reason
why
why
I
he
thought,
did it.
no,
Maybe that's the
Steve.
reason why he did it to
Yeah,
make up for that.
hopefully he's laughing at himself by doing that because if it's not that, it's no. It's like, no, he's
Yeah,
already done this, Steve. You've already done that. And
yeah,
it's
that's
gone
funny.
down like, yeah. Joey Barton did it as well when he went to Marseille. But the Steve, that's when sometimes you see people talking about Steve McLaren and you
Yeah.
see them spell it SCH, Steve, because he said, I'm Steve McLaren. Yeah, oh, I can't even
I
do it.
got
It
you.
was
I
so
got
bad, the accent he did. Oh, yeah. And Keller saved the
you. Oh,
penalty, by the way.
big up, honesty. By the
Yeah.
way, big up, honesty. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Been a hot minute, bro. We talk on Twitter, but it's been a while since I've seen you in the chat. It's good to see you.
Callagher saved the penalty.
Yeah. Keller saved
Real
the
quick
penalty.
too, before we bounce out, I want to also say, if you haven't, and I don't, obviously I have no connection, nor do I work for the publication or the, I don't know if it was put on by Liverpool or not, but they did that round table piece, the round table piece, which was with Ali, was with Mo, and was with Robbo. It also had the she
Oh,
used to be
yeah.
she was on Sky Sports, but she's no longer with them. She just quit all out of the blue.
Well, he was kind of saying, do you think that was FSG priming us for those players leaving? Was that the comment he made earlier on? When he put it in, did you see the interview? Yeah, I think I said, did you see that interview? Do you think that was FSG priming us for those players to leave? I didn't see what the interview
I
was.
did not think of it from that perspective.
Yeah, I didn't. Kelly Cates. Oh, okay, Kelly Cates.
Yes.
Alvisa's daughter. Yeah.
Yep. She did the interview, and they were in like this, theater that was kind of like, propped up to have a bunch of Liverpool paraphernalia on there. That was it. I agree with Kwasi. That had me kind of like, holding back the tears a little bit from the very beginning, as they showed clips, they gave insight, personal insight. They were also, engaging with each other, talking about the importance of the team and how, like, a player that we spoke on earlier, Bobby, about how it wasn't really until they saw Bobby leave, or at least for Mo, that they were like, we got to make the most of these moments. Like, sometimes it feels like you're going to have forever, to like do all the different things that you want on your list. But like, when Bobby left, it was like, okay, things can be different. You gotta, transitions happen. And it was unique in that those are three of the best players we've had in the Klopp era for certain, and all three are certain legends with this club, living legends, we should say, with the club. It's a special piece. I would certainly recommend it for you to watch if you haven't had the opportunity to do so.
No,
that's all I want to say. That's just I'm not getting paid. This isn't some paid advertisement. This isn't like I get some kickback or something from this. It's just more so, what?
Yeah. Better not be, because I ain't seen any cut. I ain't seen any.
Everything goes back into the channel, brother.
But what Barney is saying, one thing I wanted to say about Kelly Cates, nobody likes a nepo baby, and And Kelly Cates is Kenny Dalglish's daughter. You know, that is a bit weird calling your name is Kenny, you call your daughter Kelly. You know, a bit narcissistic. But anyway, we'll move on. But she's really good at what she does. She's just really, really good. And she has that natural way with players because she's spent her life being Kenny Dalglish's daughter. She's been surrounded by incredibly famous footballers. So she's natural with them. And I liked as soon as she came into the business as Kelly Dalglish. That's how she was first known. But as soon as she could, and I know she got married, but as soon as she could, she chose to change her name to Kelly Cates because she didn't want to be known as Kelly Dalglish because she didn't want to use her name. And she kind of dropped. So I thought that was always really impressive for me. She was just like, no, I don't want to be known as Kenny's daughter. I want to be known for what I can do. And she's brilliant with players. You can just tell she's so natural with them. And that's what you need sometimes. You get them to open up. Some of these terrible interviews, they ask them the worst questions. And the lads are just looking at them going, oh, God, this guy. You know. But with someone like Kelly Cates, before you know it, you've like told her half your life story. You know, and then it's like, but yeah, she is. She's really, really good. But you can tell, man. Can you imagine like her life as a kid just going, oh, there's John Barnes calling over for tea, and there's Ian Rush and Robbie Fowler. My dad's giving Robbie Fowler to lift to work, and I'm in the car going to school. All this stuff. Like, she's just so natural with these people.
Mm-hmm. I miss. Sorry about the typo. Honesty, I was trying to type it real quick. That message was to you. I think that he asked the question of what do you guys' opinion? Actually, getting lots of extra footage here.
Fabuk.
Question: What's you guys? What is your opinion on? That's supposed to be Robbo. On Robbo saying he wants to prove people wrong. I I think it's the inner lining of his true character, and that is he's a fighter, he's a winner, and he's, in my humble opinion, he's a proper red. I just think that he symbolizes what a lot of what I've come to know as being the particular case of what it takes to be a red, and that is someone that is not going to, even when the stakes are down and it's a difficult fight, you don't look at it as I'm just going to give up. No, you work for it, you put in hard work, and you make it happen.
I said it the other. I think it's a shame, a genuine shame, and it's a slander on some of our fans that he feels he has to prove people wrong. He's got nothing left to prove. He has nothing left to prove, as far as I'm concerned.
Well said. Well said. Personally, that's how I see it too.
Bang on, Brian. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's definitely a difference. That I know we're on the internet here. I know we're on a platform. I know that we're utilizing this platform for what I believe is the proper fight, and that is recognizing and appreciating and showing gratitude too. I think we show proper gratitude. Another question: do you think Robbo is listening to the fan base online, and that's why he made that statement? I think that
obviously, yeah. Unfortunately,
you don't think that Robbo might not necessarily engage in a lot of the back and forth online. You know, he's not maybe doing what you see Nunez do, which is like, you know, turning off his social media or whatever, making it, private or whatever. But I haven't gotten a follow back yet, Darwin. By the way, I know that I'm allowed to that I'm following you, but you gotta follow me back. But I just think Robbo is a player that he hears it, he knows it. I mean, I'm sure he knows he openly said it in the interview. You know, he said that or in an interview, he said that he recognizes that he had a bad 45 minutes in that Arsenal game. Is it something he's proud of? No. But is it something that's going to motivate him to work hard and make sure it doesn't happen again? I trust Robbo. I trust in him. I don't think there's nothing that Andy's done that I can't say that I shouldn't give him that leeway or that generosity. I don't think I question those that say elsewise. Personally.
Oh, and like I say, look, we sometimes, as we often say, we forget these people are humans. He can turn off all his bits and pieces, but his mates, they're normal people. They have mates who aren't footballers, who work normal jobs. They have people who are just normal people.
Yeah.
And their family. They'd be like, people are saying this about you and they're saying that, or you're saying that, like, they're going to hear it. They may turn it off, but guaranteed, like, one of his sisters or his cousin is going to be texting him, go, Robbo, man, did you see what X, Y, and Z said about you? Not like one dickhead on Twitter, but like say maybe some guy, a proper football guy.
Not like a son
your legs might be gone. Yeah, exactly. Not someone on a channel saying his legs are gone,
right.
But someone who, did you see what? There's a bit of a narrative about you now that, and I think that's so sad. Really, is that he's got to come out there and not talk about, like you said, 45 minutes. What about the 45 months? When we won everything with the guy, and he's like, come on, like, dude, he's like, dude, you don't need to apologize at 45 minutes. You got done up by one of these guys who can just do anybody on his day. He was on fire and you got cooked, It can happen to anybody. So, yeah, he has nothing to apologize for. So, Bernie said he looked a bit nervous in that interview. He's not really a media guy, is he, Andy? He's definitely... He likes it when it's a bit of crack. No, but he's not. I mean, he's not.
He doesn't like to be the central character, does he? He's okay in the background going, oh.
Exactly. When there's a couple of people that are having a bit of a laugh. Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, what? I get what you're saying, but at the same time...
But I mean, he doesn't have that, what they would call main character syndrome. He's not...
You're sitting next to two players that right now are, looked at as being possibly the world's best. I think that Robbo is the best at the left back position. He's definitely had a little bit of a dip in his performances as of late, but I don't think that constitutes his entire catalog to say that he's not the best, one of the best in the world.
Well,
and he's sitting next to the players for reference that's being the world's best. That's all I'm saying. You get what I mean?
Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly. That's like, he doesn't see himself as a superstar, and he never will. Even though you've got Liverpool fans out there going,
have you seen the piece? Have you seen the interview, by the way?
No, you can link it to me afterwards.
Okay, cool. I was only asking because there is I was just going to say, Kwasi.
Nice one.
Exactly what he did. Big up, Ant, by the way. Big up, Ant in the house. Big up. He did say something like, they all gave proper praise towards, they humbly were giving praise towards each other about, this and that. And there was, Salah said that Robbo is, world class, blah blah blah. He's basically saying how he's one of the best, if not, I think he said the best in the world, at his position. And then he took a little bit of a shot at him and said, "Oh well, maybe not the best. Maybe he's not the best," or something. He said something like that, like kind of like trying to joke with Robbo, in that he can be sometimes a little bit of a pain in the butt when it comes to, because they go back and forth a little bit here and there. With like their pranks on the training grounds, but let's be honest, he said something in the interview that was so cool, because they were talking about the levels that you have to keep. They were talking about the fact that like everything is always like, you see people doing what it is, but Salah made a point about saying how he loves the fact of how Ali, I forget what player and what play it was. You can probably in the chat or in the panel tell me. But like he referenced how Ali in one of the games, even though it wasn't necessarily Ali's fault, he came out, he went over to the player and said, my bad. You know, like he was humble enough to say, you know what, my bad. I'll take the blame for this type situation. I don't know who it was that was at fault at the time, but that's what he said about Ali. And then he mentioned something about Robbo mentioned something, or no, Mo, excuse me, mentioned something about what had just happened in the training pitch earlier that day. And it was about how like it was wait, let me make sure I got it right. It was about how
that ain't no deal. Raven
is starting to let it go to his head a little bit possibly, and he had to be put in his place, okay, on the training pitch. And it was kind of interesting because they was like, he knew they all know that like these players are talented and the likes, you know, but they emphasized the fact and the point that Quaz brought up about it's important to have leaders on a team. It's immensely important to have not only leaders, but people that have gone through the struggles and the fights together and understand what it takes to get to the other side. And he was emphasizing the fact that this team has some great characters that fit that bill, and how, like, you know, Robbo was quick to tell Grabba, hey, yeah, you're gonna have to do this, or you're gonna have to do that, you know, on the training pitch. And I was kind of like, okay, I get you. It's important. That's why I was just trying to. So I'll include the link. I'll definitely give you the link. But if you haven't seen it, I know I spoke at nauseam possibly about it. It was good. It was a good episode.
I just want to know, just to Ant is saying that he's going to be coming up to Liverpool on the 26th.
Oh, cool.
Leicester. So
where's
all
that?
I just he'll be coming from East Holland anyway. Yeah. So I only have two questions until his other comment raised another question. The first two questions will be, if you're coming up on what you would call Boxing Day, we call it St. Stephen's Day, which is the proper word for it. Will you be wearing your Christmas jumper, and did your mum make that for you? So yeah, that'd be my first two questions for Ant. But also we've never run an underdog gimmick. Liverpool, Liverpool have never in my entire existence been in an underdog scenario.
Yeah, you will enjoy that piece too. Once. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's not that. I don't know who came up with this bullshit that we are seeing ourselves as an underdog, or
no.
I don't know where this came from. We're not.
Brian,
we never
watch
have
the piece.
Been. We never will be.
Watch the piece. You'll like.
I know,
but
I mean, it came from.
No. I'm trying to emphasize the fact of in that piece, Salah. This directly.
Oh, I heard his quote.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, I was saying to Ant, you might want to watch it too, because it was interesting. He actually referenced.
He's not going to watch a Liverpool. No,
maybe
he's not going.
But I'm just saying, hey, why not? It's three great Premier League players. How about that? Let's look at it from that perspective. But
he's too busy making Leicester videos to watch aircraft.
I got you.
It's all good. No,
but he references, he actually speaks about the Leicester game actually as well. He actually references it and talks about how that game was a difficult fixture for them, how they like certain parts about it, how they had to dig down deep. I think that was the reference about when Ali said, you know, took the blame for something that he didn't necessarily have to take the blame for. So just interesting. Good piece. But people, I have to go. I don't want to, but I do have to. So I'm going to bid adieu, and I'm going to allow for the chat to give a quick final thought. Lee, do you want to say anything before we let the people go?
Just thanks everyone for contributing. And I had a laugh reminiscing about all those top six tonkings that we gave out over the years. It was a nice bit of nostalgia, that people. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm. JK, did you want to say anything before we let the people enjoy the rest of our Thursday?
Yeah. It was nice to Pete Rock and see how smooth reminisce over the old games. You know.
Come on.
You know
There
that's
you
the truth, bro.
go.
You know that's
Come
the
on. Jeez.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
I love hip hop.
Reminisce
I love
over
hip
you.
hop.
Come on, JK.
JK waiting till the very end to just drop a bomb. You know?
Yeah.
I was waiting. But cool, nice contributions from the chat as well. And look forward to the next show. And press the like and subscribe to 12th man. Even Brian as well. He's got a channel going as well. So
Yeah.
let's build everyone up.
Yeah. The campaign, the struggle is real. But with you, by our side along this walk, it is certainly one that we can accomplish in success, much like my guy Robbo, right? So, Irishman, do you have a thought that you want to share before we bounce?
No, just the usual. And you know it's all love, man. And yeah, just thanks for being here, and see you again tomorrow. And KJ is going to do the whatchamacallit, the millionaire who wants to be a millionaire of football. So keep your eyes
He's going to
open
do
for
it.
that.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm looking forward to see. I want. Hopefully you get the million. Hopefully you get the million.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
the
coming
Reds
soon.
crypto. Reds. Yeah, it's going to be Liverpool Reds crypto or something like that. A million of those. And Nalante, do you have a final thought for us?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a bit speechless after that JK, that classic little reminisce. If you're smooth,
Nice.
I mean, but nice. But we'll end it as always, ladies and gentlemen. It's been eventful, been interesting, been fascinating, reminisce. And again, to my esteemed colleagues, the most of the host, 12th man, Gravy. Gonna be hearing that Gravy train sound a lot. The Scouse man, the man on the inside, Scouse Lee. Big up yourself. He'll be coming with more news. The Irishman, Brian, if you come out of him with debates about Liverpool, he'll take you to the cleaners. Straight from the hardcore of Ireland, my Irishman. And my man, my guy, the German international / England correspondent and the Pete's Move bomb drop, Mike Bomb, JK. Lessons to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to end it on this. Man United, Chelsea, Spurs 2. City, Arsenal, who's the 7 beat down? Well, that's up to you. And at that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great show. And as I like to say every time, just to end this, be safe, take care of your loved ones and each other. Arrivederci, sayonara, bon voyage, au revoir, goodbye, good night.
Amen.
Amen to that.
Amen.
And I would just like to say,
Raven.
and I would also like to say,
Lazy
the Reds
gravy.
people.
12 man's gonna get his own gravy firm. Call it 12 man's gravy. Great on
Gravy,
Sunday.
yeah, lazy gravy. All right, up the Reds, people, up the Reds. What
Show
he
me
said,
lazy
yep,
gravy.
Up the Reds. Show me lazy gravy. Up the Reds.
Gravy is one of the greatest things in life, isn't it? It is a joy, you know.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. I'll do that. End the stream. End the stream. All right. All right. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow.